play is something else. Now, namely, I'm going to talk obviously about Suarez with a 2-run home run, Naylor with a 2-run home run, and being able to see both these guys rake for Seattle, being able to see Seattle absolutely dominate the White Sox as they should in this first game is really, really cool. Here's Suarez with that 2-run bomb.
Hey, Eugenio Suarez, the pitch on the way, swinging a drive, deep to right field, way back, and goodbye baseball into Edgar's Cantina, right above it. Right above the hand-operated scoreboard, there's number 1 for Gino in a Mariners uniform, number 37 on the year. That was a rocket, and it's now the Mariners 3 and the White Sox 1. How about that? Welcome home, Eugenio Suarez.
It felt great to see Gino hoist the Trident again bump.
Hoist.
It's
like a trophy. It's a trophy you get when you hit home runs. But yes, it's the Trident. No, that was awesome. I was distracted, right? I had trouble with the Root Sports deal yesterday, so I kept having refresh or whatnot. But I was over there. I was in my kitchen, and I heard bow, and I heard Riz, his excitement. I go, please let that be Gino. I run over, looking at the screen. It is Gino. And, welcome back. That was good. We were waiting for that moment right there for Gino just to reestablish himself and say, look, I am back. I hit bombs. The best thing I saw yesterday, Randy, Ofer, Cal, Ofer, JP, Ofer, still put up 8 runs, right? This is why you got these guys. Let's keep it in perspective. The Chicago White Sox ain't a very good team. Not very good at all. But yesterday we asked them to do exactly that. Take care of the little homies. Don't let them hang around. Don't give them life. Don't give them belief, and do what you're supposed to do. And they did that with some main contributors just having a bad day. I look at this lineup differently. We've been saying this for a week or so, and this was a perfect example. I'm glad Josh got some. I'm glad Gino got some. And quietly, maybe not even quietly, Cole Young is putting together a nice little campaign.
Gino talked about the lineup depth.
I think obviously when you see our lineup is very deep. We got a chance to win game when we are in the lineup. We got a chance to have a really good games and really good at bat. I don't think we got to change anything. We just got to continue to play how we've been playing and do our best in the field, try to win games, not like I always say, not try to be a hero or whatever like that. Just do your best and put everything together on the field, try to win games.
Our lineup has a lot of depth. And, sometimes guys say things and you go, I love that you feel that way. In this case, he's absolutely right. This lineup has a ton of depth, and you actually saw pretty much everyone but Cal get into it. And I mean, no disrespect to Cal. Cal knows that he's in a bit of a slump. We'll talk about it at 10:30, kind of what we're seeing. But the fact that Cal can be in a slump and you're still raking as a squad is pretty awesome.
That's beautiful, man. That's why you put a team together. In any team sport, there are going to be times where your main guys are struggling, and you got to get hot somehow. You got to have a guy in other sports coming off the bench, or maybe in the depth chart sports at number 2 and number 3 doing their thing, and have those splash plays. In this situation, these aren't guys coming off the bench. These aren't guys that you don't expect to do things. These are guys you expect to contribute. So you have guys who you expect to contribute who aren't, and guys you expect to contribute who are. That right there just shows you the depth of this situation here, and I'm here for it. And let's not forget Canzone, man. I was looking at the lineup, and I said to myself, if there's any spot where, okay, the lineup could take a little drop, it's probably Polanco and Canzone at this point. But even they have been contributing. And slowly and quietly, Polanco's been playing some good baseball as well. Nice to see Canzone go yard again. This was a fun game to watch. This was probably the least stress I've watched a game in a long time with this team. So big ups to Seattle. Big ups to all these guys doing their thing. You did what you're supposed to do, though. Like, let's give them their flowers. Good for you. Naylor, go get it, kid. Suarez, I see you, dog. But you're supposed to do this to this team. I expect a sweep now.
There's certainly plenty of momentum. Dan Wilson talking about it after the game.
We made some changes in the lineup, and I think people are starting to settle into that role, to their roles there, and I think they're starting to feel a little bit more comfortable. We've swung the bat really well here at home, and just starting to gel a little bit. I think obviously the pieces we've added, having those big bats in the lineup is huge, and you see what they did tonight, being able to strike, and Naylor continuing to he's a really smart, headsy player, able to be aggressive on the bases as well. So just creating a lot of things there, I think we're starting to settle into what our offense can do, and the different pieces that we have. And that's something that we want to continue to do consistently throughout.
I think what I really appreciate about this lineup is that they sound really promising on paper and then are actually delivering. I know that's not always going to be the case, right? You're going to have days where not only players slump, but your offense as a whole just doesn't get it done. The best teams in baseball are going to have days where they get beat by a team that they shouldn't. That being said, this is also a team that has at times, whether it's like playing down to the competition, whether it's having lots of talent that just doesn't pop, I think that fans are used to going, oh, yeah, it was supposed to work on paper, but it's not. I don't think that that's happening with this offense right now. Like, I'm having a hard time envisioning a series where this offense gets nothing done, where someone in this lineup doesn't get something done. And that is a significant improvement from last year when you were like, if George Kirby doesn't limit an opponent to 2 runs, what are you going to do?
Yeah, it's a different type of feel. And also, I mean, Wu is on the mound doing his thing, man.
Oh, my God.
I mean, he gives up a bomb early, and then after that, he locks it in. What is it, 2 hits he gave up? Another quality start. He's deep or into the 20s now when it comes to quality starts, franchise record. He looks in control. You know how when Castillo's doing his thing and he does a little fist pump, twirls as a fist pump. When I see Wu throw a ball, do a little twirl, and make that look on his face like, ooh, yeah, I know that he is feeling it, man, and that's something that we need and want to see. So, yes, we got to give flowers to the lineup because they are deep. They did perform yesterday, and welcome back, Gino. But what Wu is doing is fun to watch. The command, the velocity, the swag that he has on the mound, he knows that he's one of the best in the game, and he's playing like it. And when you combine those two, with our powers combined, with that, what's going on the mound and what's going on in the lineup, with Cal in a mini slump right now, I get more excited watching this team every game.
Someone said, do you guys think moving Cal earlier in the lineup has impacted him negatively? I know nothing, just curious. I don't think so. And I actually, the first day they rolled it out, I loved the construction of this lineup. I really liked Cal batting second. I really liked Rosarena leading off. Like, I really liked the lineup. Could you maybe bump him back while he works on stuff? Sure. But in theory, I really like the lineup.
Yeah, I like it. I wouldn't move Cal. Not quite. No, I'll leave him there. No, I'll leave him there.
He
looks tired, though, man. He looks tired. Like, he looks like he's played 90% of the games, a whole bunch of hacks, swinging for the fences. He does. He just looks tired. But this is baseball. He's going to go through his slumps, his ups and his downs. And this is as low as he's been throughout the whole season. So, no, I give it a series. Like, let's get through this series and then see what happens. And then I think we were texting last night, and Curtis made a good point. Like, if you were going to rest Cal, this would be the series to rest him. Let my man sit down, take a breather, go get a massage, cold pool, hot pool, sauna, all that stuff, and get that body right because we're going to need you down the stretch.
And again, you don't want to take certain teams for granted. You don't want to look at the White Sox and go, oh, you don't need to play your best baseball to beat them. Of course you do. You need to play your best baseball all the time in theory. But yeah, I agree with you. I would probably give Cal a day off either today or tomorrow during a matinee. Maybe in that series finale, you go with Garver. Maybe you DH him today, go with Garver as your starter tomorrow. I'm not sure. Not your starter, your starting catcher. I feel so optimistic about where this lineup is. I also like that while you have a ton of power in this lineup, they're not entirely home run dependent.
Yeah.
And that is also a nice shift from what it feels like they have been. And the Mariners didn't necessarily intend to construct past iterations of the lineup that way. It's just kind of how it ended up being. But this is a club that, again, I don't like kind of the black and white nature of like, oh, it's small ball or it's not. I think that they can win in more ways than just getting bombs. That being said, home run's pretty valuable, dang valuable.
I mean, you look at this lineup, that's what they're capable of doing. Cal Raleigh, bombs. Naylor getting up there. I like seeing Naylor steal bases too. Another point, they've been so aggressive with the base running, and I love it, right? Naylor's still in second. You got a double steal with Suarez and Naylor as well. I believe Canzone got one, too. I love how aggressive they are on the bases. So even if you're not getting these extra base hits, only had one yesterday with Canzone getting a double. When they get on, they're going to push it. They're going to challenge that pitching staff over there in the catcher of the ops and make them make plays at second and third base. I appreciate that about this team as well. Again, they're the White Sox. This should be, we call these stat games in football. I know, no disrespect to Vandals out there. I knew when we played the Vandals, we all going for 100. We all, and it happened. It really happened. Like 3 of us went for 100. Stat game. I knew when we played San Diego State, we all going for 100. And it really happened. All of us went for 100. So I know when we play the White Sox, you should win the series, all right, minimum, but a sweep is really in play.
I mean, yeah, like certainly in play, but I also feel pretty good about this lineup. Look, they're going to, after this stretch of games against sub-500 opponents, they're going to have a tough series coming up. You're going to face the Mets. You're going to face the Phillies. Curtis talked about how the schedule kind of flips, and all of a sudden you're getting some tougher opponents here. I feel good about that lineup against those teams, too. I am not saying that they're the best lineup in all of baseball. I'm saying it's the best Mariners lineup that I've seen in 15-plus years, 20 years. I mean, with 2015 maybe being the closest to this, and I know that you agree, it's just to see it in action. I can't stress it enough. It sounds so repetitive, and I know that, but like to see it play out and to see them actually look good when you have all the faith in the world that they can is really like a pleasant viewing experience.
It's refreshing. It makes for a great viewing experience. It makes for a relaxing one. I'm doing things around the house. I'm listening to the game. You're up 4 or 5 runs. I'm not stressed anymore. I'm looking at Wu do his thing. Cal, you're over. Don't worry about it. This lineup is deep. Canzone's going to come through. Yeah, it makes for a different viewing experience, and I think that that we should be grateful that the guys upstairs did what they had to do without giving up a whole bunch of prospects. Man, they pulled this thing off, and it's paying off so far. You just got to keep up with everybody else now, right? Boston, you got to keep up with the Astros. New York lost another one last night, I believe. They're struggling a little bit. So now it's about keeping up. And then once you catch up, surpassing them. Because we've seen over the years this team look really good for a couple weeks, and then something happens, and they can't hit a baseball. They can't field a ground ball, and things start to happen. The mound starts to trip a little bit. So we're taking it day by day. But they checked off a box because against teams that have been struggling, they haven't looked the greatest. 1 game down, 8-3. I'm satisfied.
We liked home runs from Suarez and Naylor. Dom Canzone also had one in the second. Is there something you're still waiting to see, something you'd like to see in the next 2 games here of this series?
Runners in score position. They're still not great in that situation.
1 for 7 there.
1 for 7 yesterday. I don't know what the season numbers are, but that's something that I always look at when I check the box scores after the game. They got to get better there. Runners are, let's hit the ball when there are runners in scoring position. Hit the gaps. That's what I'm looking for next. We know they hit bombs, but put the ball in play and keep manufacturing runs.
Yeah, that's a really good one. It would probably be my top answer as well, and should probably be everyone's. I think I'm really curious to say, I believe Kirby's on the mound today, Curtis. Right. I'm really curious with Kirby and Gilbert especially, who's obviously not going to be on soon, having just started. But I think that so much of this team's playoff hopes, for that matter, World Series hopes, rest on what your starting pitching can look like, in particular those two. Wu's doing his part. He's doing everything he can. I think if you could just see another notch, another step forward from 2 of your best guys, Gilbert and Kirby. So watching Kirby very, very closely today, watching Gilbert when he's back out there, I think is really where, like, I'm so happy with this offense. And for that matter, they could be just average, and if the pitching could just kind of like hit another level, I'd be elated about this club. I think that that's kind of where I'm focusing now, is how's the healthier bullpen? Can the pitching push deep into games? Are they giving these guys opportunities? That's going to make me feel more confident about how much damage they could do in the postseason should they be fortunate enough to get there.
Yeah, because we feel like, as far as power, as far as the bats, you should be okay, regardless if someone else is struggling. But your best weapon in the playoffs are the guys on the mound. So continue to get healthy. It looks like we're going to see Miller here pretty soon. Sounds like it. Robles as well. He's going to get 40 to 50 at-bats on the lower level. Just get healthy and continue to build your chemistry. And I like the chances of this team to make a legit run.
We're pretty baseball heavy to start the show. Lots of exciting things happening for the Mariners, coming off a win in that series opener against the White Sox. We will, of course, get to the Seahawks a bit later in the show. You've got your first preseason game of the year coming up tomorrow. Seahawks.com reporter John Boyle joining us for a preview at noon. Our coverage of Seahawks training camp brought to you by The Landing in Renton. Right now, let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
Headline number one, Jerry Jones says he's not confident Micah Parsons will be available for the Cowboys season opener on September 4th. What's the real headline?
I wonder if it's the trade request. Okay, what would have made him not confident? Would it be that Micah publicly requested a trade? That couldn't be it.
Here's the thing with that whole situation. He's getting paid, Micah Parsons, $24 million a year. That's over $1 million a game. Is he willing to miss out on that? Because he's still under contract. If he doesn't get that extension, he doesn't get the number that he likes, he is still under contract. Is he willing to sit out and miss over $1 million per game? I'm not sure, but I also think that this relationship has gone so sour that Jerry is probably finally speaking truth. He's finally saying, really, I don't know. I'm a little nervous. I'm not sure if he's going to be out there. The defense with Micah Parsons wasn't even that good last year. So could you imagine this defense without Micah Parsons? It's going to be even worse. So we're going to talk about this every day until it gets settled. And Jerry's going to give us a soundbite every day until it gets settled. But they got to figure this thing out, man. I went on yesterday and said that, look, if the Seahawks could do it, go ahead and trade for him. It's going to be a lie. People disagree with me. I don't care. You got a chance to get a talent like that. You got to at least do your due diligence and see if you're willing to give up what they're asking for. And if it's too much, then it's too much. I get that. But Michael Parsons is that good. There's someone on the text line saying, well, he's not even a leader in sacks and all that. That lets me know how much you know about football. Just because you're not a leader in sacks does not mean you are not wrecking what the offense is trying to do. You're not throwing off timing. You're not rerouting slot receivers. You're not blowing up linemen, collapsing the pocket. You're not dropping up in the covers, taking up zones. He is a complete athlete. He is one of the best in the game, but not the best in the game. Someone cut a deal with this guy.
Playing the Eagles offensive line twice a year. I mean, it's just I think sacks are a great indicator of obviously how explosive and how talented, blah, 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 how valuable a defensive lineman is. Absolutely. It is not like the sole measure of how great someone is, especially if they're wildly disruptive and especially if they're getting double teamed a ton because there's no one else on their team. Here's my whole take on the Micah Parsons situation is you can simultaneously think, wow, this guy's one of the best defensive players in the league, and also that's a little rich for my blood. That makes me uncomfortable.
That's fine.
I think both things are absolutely positive. What I kind of do push back against is anyone who tries to make the case that Micah Parsons isn't really talented just because you don't want to give up that much. Like, you can think, I don't want to give up 2 firsts. It's just, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But he's really, really good. I know he'd make the team better. Like, it's okay to acknowledge another player's really good. Maybe you don't watch a lot of Cowboys games. Why would you if you're not a big Cowboys fan? Like, it's not like they've been, a regular Super Bowl contender for, I don't know, decades. Like, it's okay to kind of tune out from that if they frustrate you. But, like, you can't speak on something without actually watching it.
Imagine saying a top 5 player at any sport isn't really that good. He's top 5.
Based on nothing.
There's 1,600 players in the NFL right now. He is top 5, man. He's good, but if the money scares you, I get that. I'm
Totally
cheap, too.
get it. Absolutely. And again, the Seahawks would have to make some difficult decisions. They have the 6th most cap space in all of football. Technically, could they swing the trade given the draft picks that they currently own, which are their original draft picks, and given the cap space with a little maneuvering? Yeah. It would mean some tough decisions down the road for some other guys, though. Maybe it means you don't hang on to Ken Walker, that you don't, give a big contract to some other guys that you really love. Devin Witherspoon is going to be due a new deal. Reek Woolen is going to be due a new deal. Like, you do have some tough contract decisions to make, and it means sacrificing one or more of those. So I get it. But I get it if someone doesn't want to. I do not get an argument about how Micah isn't very clearly immensely talented.
Yeah, that dude's nice.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 2, Mariners GM Justin Hollander says Victor Robles' recovery is way ahead of schedule and he'll start a rehab assignment next week. What's the real headline?
I got to be honest, I'm really glad to see they're not calling Robles' return a trade deadline acquisition. This is like someone I'm excited about, but not the deadline acquisition I wanted to see.
It would have been if Naylor and Suarez didn't get acquired. They would have been, listen, hey, this is kind of like we are gaining at the trade deadline. So I'm glad we're not having that conversation. The thing with Robles is, all right, what do you do with Canzone once he comes back? Because Canzone's been playing some decent ball as well. I think that Robles is probably a better outfielder than him. But as you know, once you get back into the bigs, man, you got to see big league pitching. You got to feel that. So where's the space? Where's the space to allow Robles to get back in the groove, but also respect what Canzone has been doing in his absence? That's going to be a tough situation, but a great situation to have. I'd rather have that situation rather than being forced just to throw a guy in there who might not be ready to go yet. Oh, yeah. I'm happy for Robles. It's been a long time, man. It's been a long time, and you got to make some decisions here.
It really is a shame that he hurt himself making such a cool play. And it didn't look like super severe at first, so I was very confused.
Right.
But glad he's going to be coming back here. That's great news.
Headline rewrites.
Headline 3, Shedeur Sanders was named the starter for the Browns preseason opener, while Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, and Dylan Gabriel will all sit out. Cleveland also signed Tyler Huntley yesterday to add depth. What's the real headline?
You know, they say when you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have 1. So what do they say about having 5 quarterbacks?
They're not sure. But Stacy, what about the training camp stats, though? I mean, Shedeur Sanders has the best completion percentage, the most touchdowns, and the least interceptions. That's why I do not look at training camp stats. This staff has to be looking at Shedeur Sanders and thinking, you know, maybe he's going up against the threes and he's dicing them up and making poor decisions, yet still getting away with some mistakes. There's sometimes that quarterbacks can make the wrong decision and get away with it because the receiver just makes a miraculous play or the defender just doesn't go where he's supposed to go. There's something that he's doing in his process that has these other quarterbacks in front of him. What I don't understand is why the heck Kenny Pickett is in front of him. Like, Kenny Pickett has done absolutely nothing this camp. I went in the archive searching for Kenny Pickett at the Browns camp, and he's done nothing. I understand he's a veteran. He's been in this league for a while.
But that's it, though.
But it's evaluate him, just like everybody else. Kenny Pickett should be playing, was it Friday, Thursday, whenever they're playing. Kenny should be out there. I understand why Huntley's there. They're trying to get him acclimated, see what he can do. He's been in a few different offenses. But why is Kenny Pickett sitting and Shedeur Sanders playing?
I think that you answered the question within your own answer of, like, when you're not talking about a Cam Ward, when you're not talking about someone who's very, very clearly talented, you have a big investment in him in terms of draft capital, like a 1, 2, even a 3rd-round pick. You're talking about a guy that you picked late, who's part of a very crowded quarterback room. You're looking entirely on veteran experience. It's the same reason Joe Flacco is your number 1 guy. It's not because he's the most athletically gifted guy. He just has by far the most experience.
Well,
Kenny Pickett, like it or not, has starting
Kenny
experience.
Pickett is hurt. They say he's hurt.
Yeah, him and Gabriel are dealing with some injuries.
Then okay, I take that comment back, Kenny.
Well,
I apologize, and I hope you heal and you get better. I understand why Shedeur is playing, but if you look at everything that I've seen coming out of the Cleveland camp, they throw the numbers out like it's the end-all, be-all. And that's why I do not pay attention to that stuff. Gabriel must be better in the classroom. He must be better with the process. He must be better in the huddle. He must be a better leader because they're going to allow him to sit and they believe in him a bit more. Maybe he's banged up too. But no, I'm happy for Shedeur. Actually, I'm glad he's in this situation because now he gets to go out and prove it. Like, go out there and dice these dudes up and make them make a tough decision.
Well, and one of my headline rewrites was also going to be a version of, like, we kind of know what the Browns are doing here. Another reason the Browns are starting Shedeur Sanders is that's going to be one of the most watched preseason games, easily. I think people are very, very curious about what Shedeur is going to look like at the pro level, about whether or not he's going to actually become a starter for this team. And, like, that will be one of the most watched preseason appearances for any of these games. What's going on with Cal Raleigh? Talk about that next.
Wyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
I was always a guy that, like, if I could get an interception, man.
How many did you have in your career?
3.
How many should you have had? If you, as you put it, if you didn't have frying pan hands.
Yeah, I would say probably double that. When I was in high school, I played in a state championship game. I had 2 interceptions in one game, and I was like, that was my favorite game. I just loved that.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Hey, Brock Ewart here with some great news. I'm with Shannon O'Kelly, physical therapist and owner of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Shannon, you guys just increased your community coverage.
That's right, Brock. We like to say we're in your neighborhood. We have you covered here at IRG. We just added 2 fantastic locations. One is in Harbor Square in the Edmonds Bowl, and the other one is in the Mill Creek Town Center, right to the entrance to Mill Creek Town Center. So we'll be able to provide fantastic care to all of us and everybody's neighborhood.
You know I love it. Expert physical and hand therapy right in your neighborhood.
That's right. We're in your neighborhood. We want to be your neighborhood family physical therapist. We'll take care of you, your family, and your neighbor.
And remember, no referral needed. Just personalized care when and where you need it. Visit IRGPT.com and schedule your appointment today. With over 40 convenient locations, IRG is right in your neighborhood, and now 2 new spots as well. That's IRGPT.com, IRGPT.com.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
Looking for an epic summer night in Seattle? Be here for the Mariners Drone Show at T-Mobile Park, Friday, August 22nd, presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
It is Grand Salami time. Cal Raleigh with his third Grand Slam of the season.
The team is taking on the A's at 7:10, and after the game, we'll be lighting up the sky with hundreds of drones, celebrating Mariners icons past and present. Don't miss out on a jaw-dropping post-game show.
He got him. He puts him away.
And the ball game is over. Another phenomenal save by Andres Munoz. Head to Mariners.com to grab your seats and see the full lineup of special events, including Kids Appreciation Day, Sunday, August 24th, and the Logan Gilbert Funko Pop giveaway, September 8th to 10th. Plus, check out a great slate of marquee interleague matchups against the Padres, Cardinals, and Dodgers.
Julio clubs this deep out to left field and gone. Julio for the second time.
Mariners baseball. Try dance up.
Americans may not agree on much, but we agree on Social Security. We all pay in. It ought to be there when we need it. Social Security could face a funding gap in less than a decade, and I don't want to see a pay cut. I'm with AARP in the fight to protect the Social Security we earned.
Pledge to protect Social Security at aarp.org/weearnedit. That's aarp.org/weearnedit. Paid for by AARP.
You've still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The Bump and Stacy Show is powered in part each day by the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Go to pendergastlaw.com.
Big Trees is Washington's premier tree sales and transplant company. With over 30 years of experience, Big Trees provides trees of all sizes for residential and commercial projects. Our 30-acre nursery features thousands of trees and hundreds of varieties that thrive in our Pacific Northwest climate. For hours, directions, and to see our wide selection of trees, visit BigTreeSupply.com.
We've got a style of play no one wants to go up against. Big hits that turn the tides in our favor. Noise that shakes opponents to their core.
That was 112 decibels in that last tackle.
Disruption is in our DNA.
It's intercepted! Seahawks ball! Interception made by Love!
Celebrating 50 seasons of Seahawks football.
Break back, throws it! Touchdown! Touchdown Seahawks!
Visit Seahawks.com/tickets today.
It is that time of year. I cannot wait for the weather to get warm like it is now on consecutive days. That means I can break the motorcycle out, ride to work, ride all over the place, and I love it more than just about anything. But I also know that it's not a matter of if, but when you get in an accident, what are you going to do? Well, I'll tell you, when you're injured in a motorcycle crash, don't settle for firms that say they're motorcycle lawyers. Trust the ones who live it. Law Tigers has been a part of the writing community for nearly 25 years nationwide. They're here 24/7. 365 days a year because writers deserve real support when they need it. Law Tigers is the resource writers can turn to when they are in need. Law Tigers is out at all the events and supporting all clubs and shops. The Law Tigers are always by your side. Your case evaluation is always free. There are no fees until your case settles. The Law Tigers, you never ride alone. Law Tigers, Washington's motorcycle lawyers. Jimmy Cook, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
What's going on with Cal Raleigh? I'll start with an answer, like a too long didn't read answer, which is he's in a slump and it's okay and normal. But I think not all slumps are quite the same. It's great when a slump isn't especially costly, which it's not for the Mariners right now because they have so much depth and good on them. But you do, just for the sake of Cal's historic season, want to see him kind of get back into the swing of things, no pun intended. I texted Bump, someone who knows a ton about baseball, and I asked what he was seeing. And he said Cal's swinging strike rate, which is not just strikeouts but raw whiff rate, is up nearly 6% since the break versus the rest of the season. He said chases are all different. Like, you can say, oh, Cal's chasing. We can see statistically that Cal's chasing a bit more post All-Star break. But there's levels to chasing. He said chases, 8+ inches out of the zone. Well, that's a bigger problem than chasing, something that's, kind of in the shadow of the zone. Then he said, most likely this is about multiple things, but nothing he hasn't faced before, which was encouraging.
So you're saying all chases aren't created equal?
That's exactly what he said. All chases aren't created equally. And then the idea of slumps are multifaceted things.
Okay. Before I comment on that, let me go back to my Browns rant. Okay. I looked at the depth chart. Okay. Kenny and Gabriel are hurt. Okay. So Shedeur, go get your flowers, man. Go ball out. But
I don't know why people. I mentioned this yesterday. I don't know why people are talking to me.
No, they're talking to me. To Cal though, here's the thing with Cal: when you have the success that he's having this year, pitchers aren't just going to toss you up these meatballs anymore. They're going to be so cautious with you that they are going to try to get you to chase. That's the whole goal of pitchers on the mound, is to understand who you are as a batter and try to get you to chase. Try to make that pitch look good halfway to the plate and then have it break off for you and have you second-guessing yourself. And then as a batter, you're in the batter's box and you're thinking to yourself, I'm not going to get anything right down the middle. I'm not going to get anything that I can really hit. So if it looks even slightly good, I'm going to have to go after it. And also, there's another factor for Cal, man. It's that he is just tired. Like, he looks tired to me. I'm big on body language. When I'm in the booth watching the Seahawks game, sometimes I won't even look at the play. I'm just looking at the player on the sideline. I'm zoomed in with my binoculars. I'm looking at his body language. Is he breathing hard? Is he frustrated? Like, what's going on? And that's what I've been doing with Cal lately, that he's been struggling. I'm just looking at his body language because you know that he has a reputation now. Cal is not a secret. All across the country, people know exactly who he is, and these pitching staffs are preparing for him. And they're doing exactly what they're supposed to do: get him the chase and not give him anything right down the middle. And he's played almost every dang game. My man is tired. So there's a combination of things going on. But thankfully, you have a lineup that can have your back.
I think that your point about recognizing that he's just going to have fewer pitches in the zone. And then here's the other thing. Some of his home runs this year have been, like, you look back at, like where that placement was, and you're like, how did he get that ball in play? How did he get it out of the park? How did he even go over the fences? So I think part of it is that he's got a lot of reach. He's a bigger guy. He's comfortable swinging outside the zone at a few of these pitches. So maybe part of it is needing to. You can't really change your approach midseason. But I do think that being pitched a bit differently is, you're right, a big part of it. I don't know that he's hurt. I saw some people saying, I think Cal's hurt. I don't know that he's hurt. I think he'd be getting more days off. I think he'd be, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's that. I think fatigue sets in for catchers. It's the same reason that a lot of people expected when they were seeing these numbers from Cal, even back in May. They were saying, he'll regress. He's a catcher. There's just a type of attrition that happens to your body as a catcher that I wouldn't be surprised if it was a factor. I think sometimes players just get in their own head. I don't know. I do not know the answer. I need to talk to more people. I've talked to one person, and his theory was, I think it's a couple things, but it's also something he's probably experienced before. This isn't a new thing of Cal tweaked his elbow and now he can't get his swing right. This is probably more of like a mental approach than anything else.
Yeah, it has to be mental. Part of it has to be mental. Part of it has to be physical. Another part of it is just pitchers respecting who he is as a baseball player, especially this year with everything that he's been doing. So it's going to take some discipline. It's going to take some patience too, man. I think that's what's hard too, is when you are in a slump, I would assume that your patience is wearing thin. You want to get back to the guy you were a couple weeks ago. You want to get back to the guy who you were at the All-Star break, hitting bombs, winning the home run derby, because that felt good. And sometimes a break can help, man. My golfers know this, man. When you're not swinging the stick good, sometimes you just put them down and relax and let your body heal, get your mind right, and you might come back feeling a bit better. So that's why I encourage Dan and everyone else is to give this dude a break. And it's not like you necessarily need him in this series. You love him to be out there. He gives you a better chance to win. But you're playing the White Sox, one of the worst teams in the game right now. Pitching staff ain't great. Let these other guys eat and give him some time because he's battling some things right now. But that's the art of athletics, is that the great ones, the good ones, find a way to get out of this, whether that be changing their routine, whether that be just taking a break, reevaluating, watching film, whatever it is. Everyone has their process to getting out of some bad things. When I coach receivers and they get the drops, every receiver has it sometimes, all right? You're going to get the drops, whether it be at practice or in a game. I get back to the fundamentals. I tell them, all right, you know where the point meets on a football? There's like a cross there where all the seams meet. If you are 30 yards away, you're not going to see the seams. But if you lock in on that seam, trying to find the seams all the way to your hands, I guarantee you're going to start catching the ball again. It's just getting back to some fundamentals. So whatever his base is, whatever his foundation is, just get back to that. But I'm not tripping right now. If there were no Geno, if there was no Naylor, if Canzone wasn't balling, if Cole Young wasn't balling, if Julio wasn't turning the corner, I'd be like, man, this team is in trouble. But you're playing the White Sox. Everyone else is playing decent ball. Your pitching seems like he's doing okay. I'm not stressed about it. He deserves to have a slump and to have people not really panic.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And again, I think it's just kind of where I don't know how many people are being kind of down on him so much as they're saying like, oh, this is tough to watch. I hope he can figure it out, with the confidence that he will, because players do that. You get into weird spots sometimes. Sometimes it lasts 2 weeks. Sometimes it lasts 2 months. And then you bounce out of it because you're able to kind of figure it out. I mean, look at what Julio's doing right now compared to how he was to start the season. Yeah, I think it's fascinating. And I also, this isn't me saying, oh, he's not struggling. He is. But I think it's worth noting he was how far away from home run number 43 yesterday? And the day prior, drew a really, really important walk in a good AB that got him on base for a 2-run home run from Julio and a 1-run win. So, again, is it like Cal won you that game? No, but I'm saying like there was a really good AB where he drew a very important walk. In another game, he nearly got a home run in another pretty solid AB.
I want to say he had like a 10-pitch AB last night, too.
Before striking out.
Yeah, he was working.
That was when he got hit on his foot. And that could have been bad. But
yeah, that always scares me. I mean, my man takes a beating every single night, man. But yeah, give him a day off. I wouldn't be surprised if he sits today.
Let's ask Jordan what he's seeing. Yahoo Sports' Jordan Shusterman is going to join us at 11. We'll ask him about Cal, kind of a little bit of what he's seeing and a bit of a slump for Cal, maybe what he wants to see more of, and also what he's thinking about this really, really solid Mariners lineup so far. Expectations for George Kirby tonight. He's joining us at 11. Get off my lawn. Coming your way next.
He's the best catcher in baseball.
Pitch to Cal, swing and a drive.
And he's on Seattle Sports, Thursday afternoons all season long. It's the Honey Bucket Cal Raleigh Show.
Presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians.
More history for Cal Raleigh.
I love being here, and I love these fans in the city.
Catch every episode of the Honey Bucket Cal Raleigh Show, presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians, on the Seattle Sports YouTube page, the Seattle Sports app, and seattlesports.com.
Hey, what's up? It's Michael Bumpus for Silver Reef Casino. It's an easy drive up I-5. You go north, exit 260, and you are there. It's a great place to get away, to recharge, have some fun, and just relax. I've done it a couple times. It was great. You walk into the rooms. They're big. They're spacious, free Wi-Fi, and they have tablets. Once you're all settled in, go downstairs. They got some food for you. Go to the steakhouse and the cantina for some authentic Mexican food. And also, when you want to watch some sports, go to Portis Bay Sports Bar. The vibes are good. The beer is cold. Also, Lumitrails Golf Course is there. 18 holes with water almost everywhere. Hit the ball straight. Have some fun out there. And this month, they got some promos going. You can win $10,000 every Saturday this month with a grand prize of $50,000. They have great events coming up as well. Check the website if you want more information. Silver Reef Casino. It's not a secret anymore.
Are you road trip ready? Bucky's Complete Auto Repair will make your car safe and dependable with expert service and old-fashioned care. Brakes, oil change, factory service, and more. No appointment needed, and yes, friendly financing is available. Bucky's.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Hey, it's Brock Heward. My family did it, and it saved us thousands. You got to do it. Take the First Mark Insurance Challenge. It's free. See how much First Mark can save you and how much better coverage you can get. They work for you. Go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
Dave Wyman joined by Dr. Daniel Landis from Swedish CyberKnife. Dr. Landis, when treating prostate cancer, what can patients expect during CyberKnife treatment?
So the CyberKnife treatment's an outpatient procedure. Essentially, it's a 5-day treatment, about 30 minutes per day. You walk in, you walk out, you essentially don't feel anything at all during treatment. Many patients still work full-time while they're having treatment.
That's incredible. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife. Swedish.org/CyberKnife prostate.
Step back into automotive history at LeMay, America's Car Museum. The current exhibit, Rare and Luxurious, features 100 years of exceptional automobiles, including stunning classics to beauties worth millions. Feel the thrill of driving a Formula One car on the exhilarating racing simulators and lunch in the cafe. It's a must activity for out-of-town guests, friends, and families. Plan your visit at americascarmuseum.org. Open Thursday through Monday. Visit americascarmuseum.org today.
The home of the Mariners.
One hopper snare, that's short. Not a quick hop by J.P. Crawford. That guy's a magician over there at shortstop.
Seattle Sports.
Download the Seattle Sports app.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto Family.
Hello. Welcome to the Lee Johnson Auto Family. This is King. This organization's a special one. They call it the Lee Johnson Auto Family, and it's not just a name, it's not just some cliche. They foster an environment for us to become a family, to work together, to really become close, and they show us in a lot of different ways that they do value us. Is it perfect? No place is. But I've been very thankful to be here in the almost 10 years and have every plan to stay here for a lot longer and just watch it continue to grow.
He's fun and professional, which explains why so many people visiting Lee Johnson Kia ask for him by name. The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto Family.
Matt Coker here from West Coast Men's Health. Guys, Viagra is not the answer for your problem. I know you think it is, but Viagra has horrible side effects, and for most men, the longer you're on it, the less it works. Viagra is not a curative medication. It's not fixing your problem. It's a Band-Aid for a shark bite. Acoustic wave therapy is the newest technology that can correct your problem, not just treat it. We can do something that no pill can do. We can restore your blood flow naturally. Get off Viagra today. Change your life like the thousands of men who already have, regardless of your age or your medical history. If you're tired of dealing with Peyronie's disease or erectile dysfunction, then call West Coast Men's Health today.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Back to the Mariners in 15 minutes with Yahoo Sports' Jordan Shusterman. We got a lot of questions about this team facing really high expectations, fairly so. Right now, though, it's time for 3 things grind and bump skiers and get off my lawn. Bump, what you got first?
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Happy Wednesday.
Day before football season starts.
Oh, that's right.
It's a beautiful day tomorrow. Got a short day tomorrow, but I'm going to go to the Mariners game. Then I'm going to go to the Seahawks game.
You have a sports-heavy, a very sports-focused day.
Beautiful tomorrow, but we're talking about today. And I don't know what game this was or what day it was. I'm watching Sports Center. And Hector Neris, as how you say his name, Curtis, pitcher for the Astros. Hector Neris, right? They're playing the Boston Red Sox. And Trevor Story's on second base. And, Trevor Story, he's getting his lead, and he's getting back. And Hector's just staring at her. Everyone's like, what are you staring at, man? What's going on? Mm-hmm. So then it gets to a point where Hector balks on purpose so Trevor can get to third base. Hector ends up getting the batter out, and in between the innings, he's yelling at the third base coach because he thinks that Trevor Story is stealing signs and relaying it to the batter. My man, who do you play for? You play for the Astros. You guys are the biggest cheaters of all time. And honestly, if you are tipping your pitches, do better at it. Like, what are you complaining about, Hector? You're a baller. You're a good ball player. Okay, just be better. Hide your pitches and make it tough for the batter. And if you look at the video, Trevor Story wasn't looking at that. He's adjusting his belt, looking at his gloves, going back to second base. Like, you are so sensitive. How dare you be that sensitive? And you play for the Astros, man. Like, come on. It was ridiculous. He's yelling at the third base coach. Third base coach is laughing at him, saying, man, just go back to your dugout. You have no idea what you're talking about. Go look at the video. Trevor Story had no inkling. He wasn't even trying to tip off the pitches. But if you were tipping off the pitches, you sound or look a bit insecure about it. Fix up whatever you're doing if you feel like someone is tipping off pitches to the batters in the box. Trevor Story did absolutely nothing. And realize who you play for. You play for the Astros. Till the end of time, you got that jersey on, no one's going to have any type of sympathy for you if you are claiming that someone is cheating, quote unquote. And I don't think that's cheating. If you're at second base and you're tipping it off, if one of our pitchers are doing it, which they were, was it Munoz that was tipping it off? Okay, so be it. That's gamesmanship. That is part of the game, in my opinion. You baseball heads, if you disagree with me, let me know. But Hector, man, get off my lawn, dog. You know you play for. Come on.
What's next?
I'm a man.
Gracious.
I'm 40.
Crying on the mound. You play for the Astros, dog.
I know.
For the Astros.
I don't know why any Astros fans would ever get in any way defensive about almost anything. You guys, not only did you cheat, but you got away with it. Like, you got to keep your World Series trophy.
Come on, man.
What are you even? Just deal with it.
What are you tripping about?
You're the bad guy.
You are. All right, next up, man, something ridiculous has been happening at WNBA games. Adult toys have been thrown on the dang court, and these women are out there trying to ball out. Like, come on, man. What are we doing, fellas? You know it's a fella. I hope it's a fella. I hope it's not a woman.
Fella.
Exactly. You are that insecure. Are you that insecure? Are you trying to be funny? Whoever you are is not funny. You look insecure. These ladies are out there just trying to ball and have a good time, and you're stopping the game. That would never happen at an NBA game. It would never happen. I've seen people talk trash, spill drinks on accident, maybe throw bottles on the court after the game. But this is getting ridiculous. Whoever is doing that, if you are throwing these toys out there on the WNBA court, you should be banned from all arenas. You should be registered, right? Because it's disrespectful. Mm-hmm. And it makes all men look bad, because I'm pretty sure it's a guy. I don't think a woman would do that. I'm pretty sure it's a guy. You're making all of us look bad. And it's embarrassing, man. Could you imagine having stuff like that thrown at you at your workplace for everyone to see, stopping your work production? It's ridiculous. I saw it one time. It was the Fever against Liberty, and then it was the Fever against the Sparks. Is someone trolling the Fever? Like, what have they done to you? I think it was Cunningham, the enforcer for the Fever, that's been having those things thrown at her. It's just ridiculous, man. It's not funny. You should be kicked out the arena forever. Stop doing it. Let these ladies go out there and do what they are being paid to do. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, you've had definitely, whether it's those items or random things thrown onto a rink, a field, whatever. Like, it's definitely happened before, like fan interference of some kind and just like bad behavior. But this is to the point where it's becoming a running thing that people are doing. And it's also, it's not just to be like, look at this funny thing where we got on TV and we disrupted the game and how silly because we're drunk. It is meant to embarrass.
Yeah.
And I find it really weird when I read some of the comments. Like, Ashley Nicole Moss posted, hey, it's not really funny anymore. Now it's just kind of like, it's also where the joke isn't even funny anymore because it's getting run into the ground. And I think a disappointing number of people were responding with like, it's the only entertaining thing about the game. And it's like, I think when certain sports aren't for me, a league, a sport, whatever, I just don't watch. It's not for me.
Not for you.
It's not for me.
Cricket, I respect it.
Right.
Not for me.
It's not for me. I'm not a massive tennis fan. I think that there's some of the best athletes in the world. I'm not a massive tennis fan. It's not for me. I just don't partake. I I don't go out of my way to criticize, and I think that when you do, it's usually an insecurity, and I think that you should explore it with a therapist.
Yeah, go talk to somebody.
Truly, I think that you need to seek help about like what it is that makes you so deeply insecure.
Say, I have this toy with me. I'm going to take it to the game. I'm going to hide it in my pants somewhere or wherever you hid it.
Yeah.
I'm going to wait till the perfect moment and throw it out there. Like, it was a thought out plan that you had. It took you hours in between actually getting the toy and executing what you did.
Right.
And your dumb self still executed that stupid act against these women is dumb, man.
Even if
Come
you're
on.
someone commenting going like, well, it's because the women's league sucks. Like, then it's not for you. Then don't watch. Don't comment. Don't partake at all. Like, again, I think therapy's incredibly helpful for so many people, and especially for people that insecure. What's next?
I'm a man. I'm 40.
All right, this has nothing to do with sports.
Heck yeah.
All right. You know, it was a late Saturday. I'm at the house, and I'm like, you know what, man, I ran out of my adult drink, and I want some wine. So I go to my corner store and I get some rather cheap wine, some Josh Cabernet, right? Some cheap wine. And I go to the register, and my man says $20. $20. $20 for this Josh wine. So then I looked up. At QFC, that bottle was $7. At Costco, that bottle is $8.
Where were you?
At Safeway, that bottle is $12 at the corner store in Monroe. I ain't gonna blast the spot because they got nice white tees. I like my white tees getting it from there. Like they hooked me up. But I looked at my man's. I go $20, and he looked at me like, "Yeah, I know, but they can get away with it." And I just think about the people who are in a pinch. Because then I went around the store and I started looking at other stuff. I go, a bottle of jelly is $7 here.
That's
like
crazy.
$2 or $3 at the other store. And I started looking at all these prices. I go, man, you are making a killing in here. Like, how are you getting away with this? He goes, man, I can charge what I want to. I know people are in a pinch. I go, so you're taking advantage of people when they're vulnerable at night. And all I wanted was a cheap bottle of wine. End up paying $20. I should have just went to Safeway or Fred Meyer and got that, but it was convenience. That's why it's called a convenience store.
Exactly.
It's convenient for you.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna charge you an arm and a leg. I was super disappointed in my man. The thing is, I will be back. I'm not going anywhere. You're going to get my business about 2-3 times a week. But I'm going to look at you funny every time I pick up a cheap bottle of wine and say, why? Why are you taxing us so much on this bottle of wine?
Wait, what'd you call that bottle of wine?
What'd I call it?
Someone said a Cabernet.
No. Is that what I said?
I didn't hear you.
No. Yeah. Cabernet. Yeah. Cabernet. Not Chardonnay. It's Cabernet.
Okay.
Yeah. Cabernet, sorry.
Okay.
Cabernet.
It's Chardonnay. It's all kind of,
No,
we've been talking a lot about the running backs this week.
Cabernet.
I'm going to leave it alone.
What is that? You tell me what that is.
Cabernet.
That's what I said, right?
Cabernet.
Clearly, I don't drink wine like that.
Well, you're from Monroe.
I don't drink wine like that. I'm more of a Riesling type of guy anyway.
You know what, though? I think of it like, in this case, it might be them telling you to get off the lawn because they're like, we're a convenience store.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I'm mad, but I get it at the same time. But come on, man.
Sometimes you just want a relaxing, rich, full-bodied bottle of Cabernet.
Cabernet.
And
go get that Cabernet.
You know what I'm saying? When you get a Cabernet and a marinara.
It's very gratifying.
It's very gratifying.
It's very gratifying.
Very gratifying. Yahoo Sports' Jordan Shusterman joining us next.
Lyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
I was always a guy that, like, if I could get an interception, man.
How many did you have in your career?
3.
How many should you have had? If you, as you put it, if you didn't have frying pan hands.
Yeah, I would say probably double that. When I was in high school, I played in a state championship game. I had 2 interceptions in one game, and I was like, that was my favorite game. I just loved that.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Hey friends, Stacy here. Wayscar Ford Isuzu in Auburn is celebrating its 103rd year anniversary, and their biggest sales event of the year is going on right now. Take advantage of their great pricing on new Fords, Isuzus, and commercial vehicles. Also, large discounts on their service and parts departments. What about those of you who want to sell a car? Wayscar Ford's vehicle profit sharing plan is the best deal out there. They purchase your car and pay you right up front. Then, when Wayscar Ford resells your old car, they share 50% of their profit with you. They've already paid back over $800,000 to customers. At Wayscar Ford, there's absolutely no games, no gimmicks, and no pressure. That's backed up by a full 5-day or 500-mile no questions asked return policy on absolutely every vehicle they sell. Change your mind for any reason, bring the vehicle back for a full 100% refund. So if you're like me, you want a good price, a low-key, no-pressure experience, and a full 5-day, 100% satisfaction guarantee, Wayscar Ford is the place to go. Check them out for yourself at wayscarford.com. Wayscar4.com.
The future is here, so why is your internet stuck in the past? With Quantum Fiber Internet, you can get next-level multi-gig speed on a reliable fiber network. Fair and honest pricing with no annual contracts or bundling required. And whole home 360 Wi-Fi to make sure your devices are ready to take you where you want to go. So you can stream, post, game, surf, like, and love to your heart's content. You do you. Let Quantum Fiber Internet take care of the rest. Learn more at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability, service, and speed in select locations only.
Old windows cost you money and security. Lake Washington Windows and Doors installs energy-efficient, high-security windows that lower your bills and increase protection. With leak armor installation and lifetime warranties, you're protected for life. Choose LakeWashingtonWindows.com today.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
Oh, no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
My debit card.
their debit card.
Where'd I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound? That's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play.
The success you've already had matters at University of Maryland Global Campus because we're a school for real life. An accredited state university, UMGC lets you earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and relevant life and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. We offer affordable tuition and online and hybrid courses. Classes start August 13th. Apply now and save with no application fee. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Roman Anthony and the Red Sox are finalizing an 8-year, $130 million contract extension that could reach up to $230 million per ESPN's Jeff Passan. That deal includes a club option that'll keep Anthony in Boston through 2034. The 21-year-old rookie outfielder was the #1 prospect in baseball when he was called up back on June 9th. The Mariners are taking on the White Sox for Game 2 today, 6:40 p.m. first pitch, 5:30 p.m. pregame right here on Seattle Sports.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Yahoo Sports' Jordan Shusterman joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Jordan, how's it going?
Hello, everybody. Good to be here as always.
I want to start with all the really fun stuff we have to talk about with this team because I just want to be able to seize that opportunity, but I'm going against my better instinct. And instead, I'm starting with my biggest question, but I think it'll be okay. I was just talking with a friend who knows a ton about baseball, asking him, like, what are you seeing when it comes to Cal's ABs? Like, you know, people slump for different reasons. What are you seeing from Cal? And I wanted to ask you the same because for the life of me, I can't always pinpoint what the issue is. What are you seeing from Cal during what we'll call a down period for him?
I had a feeling this would be one of our topics today, so I have also been thinking about it to some degree, although I definitely have some level of positive spin for it. But, I mean, listen, the reality with Cal, especially because he is still, even amidst his success, someone that is going to strike out a lot. I think when he does get a little bit more chase prone than he normally is, the whiffs kind of come in bunches. And maybe this is anecdotal, but I also feel like he hasn't had a lot of right-handed plate appearances recently, and that's been a huge part of his season this year is the success he's had batting righty. And so I think lefty, he's just not really in a groove right now, and that seems to be taking a toll on him.
How do we take what we saw last night? I mean, it is the White Sox, but you still had Cal go over, Randy, JP, none of them registered a hit. Yet you're still able to put up 8 runs against these guys. I like the execution, but I always try to keep it in perspective. It is the White Sox. Like, how do you digest what you saw last night?
Yeah, so this was the part about Cal's kind of struggles that I was going to bring up, right? I mean, this is part of why I think you go out and get a Josh Naylor, you go out and get an Eugenio Suarez, and honestly, I think what we've seen from Dom Canzone cannot be talked about enough, just because you can afford to have Cal and even Randy kind of slumping at the top when you have really, really good hitters 1 through 9. And I think that's really what we saw last night. Now, you are taking advantage of a White Sox team that's obviously not one of the best in the league, but that's what you should do. You should be taking care of business. And I think that they really showed that last night.
I saw a couple people wondering whether there should be any kind of roster maneuvering while those guys are working on certain things. I happen to really love the construction of this lineup right now. Bump's looking at me. Yes. That's a bumpism, the construction of the lineup. I really love Randy leading off. I love Cal in the 2 spot. I've loved what they've looked like. Were you Wilson, move Cal around a bit, bump anyone back, or would you just kind of leave it as it is and let guys figure it out?
Yeah, it's funny, obviously, right? They're rolling with JP lead off for a while. He struggles. They move him down. He starts to heat up. Right. It is one of those things that when the bottom of the lineup is playing well, you're kind of battling between, do we want to change it to get those guys farther up and move the guys that are struggling down, or do you not want to mess with anything because they're winning? I feel like it's more likely for Dan Wilson to kind of roll with the second, with the ladder there, and kind of stick with the best hitters at the top and hope that they kind of find themselves again and that the guys at the bottom keep swinging it well. So I feel like that's more likely. And so I think, as you so eloquently put it, Stacy, the construction I think is in good position right now. I would not expect any major changes.
Cole Young, is he the guy, right? I'm a believer now. I've been a believer for a while, but he continues to impress me. Do you think the Mariners have found their second baseman for the foreseeable future?
Yeah, I just wrote a little bit about him this week. I'm just kind of highlighting some players to keep an eye on at Yahoo this week at post-deadline, and Cole Young was one of them. And part of it is because, Ben Williamson getting sent down as we kind of expected for Suarez, but Young has really looked really good over the last month, and I think that it shouldn't be that much of a surprise. This is obviously someone who had a lot more hype coming into the season, and even once he got called up, and even though he struggled initially like a lot of 21-year-olds do. I think what you're starting to see is the quality at bats. And then, if he's going to occasionally hit 450 feet, you'll take that bonus, even though I would not expect that to be a regular occasion moving forward.
I know that we're all watching the rest of the season for the Mariners with like an eye on the playoffs. Like, you obviously got to get there before you talk about the end of the season. That being said, with Gino Naylor set to become free agents, and then with a contract decision looming with the Rosarena, it's hard not to have that kind of in the back of my mind when I'm watching this team, as you're just constantly, figuring out the value of these guys with this club. Is that kind of how you're watching them as well right now? And how important do you see those 3 decisions for Seattle?
Yeah, no, it's big. I mean, again, like the lineup has evolved in so many different ways this season. But again, it's gone from a lot of different points where you're thinking about a team that for long stretches not that long ago was just like, how is this ever going to be a competent offense, even if you did have some high level guys? So I do think it has made a big difference to kind of what they've been able to do offensively.
I know we're not really paying attention to this squad, but quietly the A's have been playing some good baseball. Like, what's going on with these guys? Is it there's no pressure on them, so they're going out there and swinging freely? What's the deal with the A's?
The A's are a good offense. Like, they have been a good offense for a while now. I would just say that is clearly an undermanned pitching staff, and trading Mason Miller is not going to necessarily change that. But I mean, they have, even last year, you could see even before, Nick Kurtz showed up and Jacob Wilson showed up as like rookie of the year candidates. Like, with Lawrence Butler and Rooker is really their veteran guy that makes them go. Langoliers is a very, very underrated player. It's a good offense. And so that's just not a team you should really be taking lightly there.
Remember when Brian Windhurst had that like viral quote about like, what's going on in Utah? Like, that's kind of how I feel about the Yankees, where every single baseball podcast that I'm subscribed to, including your guys's, the Baseball Barbiecast, I'll check my phone. It'll be like every single one is like, what's going on with New York? Let's talk about the Yankees. So I figured, how perfect. Yeah. We're going to get Jordan on. I'm just going to, I do want to listen to all these, but I'm also going to ask Jordan, like, ooh, I know it has nothing to do with Seattle, but what's going on with the Yankees?
Yeah, I think we're all kind of trying to figure it out with that, because that's another team where, you look at the names on the roster, you look at basically every part of the roster, and you see a lot of players that you think would be performing at a really high level. And instead, you have just loss after loss after loss in ways that you really cannot even believe in some of the ways that they're finding ways to lose here. And I would say that, like, that is the part about this Yankee season. I know they're still in postseason position, but that's the thing about this that it's hard to imagine.
I heard a rumor, well, it's not a rumor, just people talking, right, that Boone could be on the hot seat if they don't figure this out. Do you agree with that or disagree?
That's the thing. Jake being plugged into New York, I think, has been really adamant that there's really no way that he's going to end up on the hot seat at any point. I don't know. I mean, it's not like they haven't fired managers before. He's been there through a lot of ups and downs. I mean, last year, how they lost in the World Series was embarrassing enough on its own, and yet they were in the World Series, right? And so obviously the standards in New York are a little bit different, but his job security has been pretty high for a very, very long time. And the sense is that he still does command a lot of respect and is very popular in the room, which carries a lot of weight beyond just the in-game decisions. So I would like to think that, my co-host Jake has a good sense of where they're at. But man, if they miss the playoffs entirely, I mean, that's maybe a totally different conversation.
Let's kind of look at the not the standings, but kind of the landscape of the wild card chase in general. Right now, it's Boston, Seattle, New York with the third spot. Rangers, the first team out, and they were kind of hot on everyone's tail. That series that Seattle started against them a few days ago, both teams were even heading into that one. Now the Rangers at 60 and 55. Again, the first team out. Boston 64 and 51. With Boston and Texas in particular, what are you seeing from those two teams? Because I think a lot of Seattle fans are having their eyes on both.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think Boston is the team that, again, like, they have had spurts of looking like a very complete team, a team that coming into the season, a lot more people were picking, including us. We kind of fell for the hype in the preseason, thinking that they could be a real threat to win the American League East, and I think that that's still true. I think Texas has been way more difficult to figure out, because that's a team where, outside of Jacob deGrom and Eovaldi, I mean, we can't be saying enough about Eovaldi at this point. I mean, he's having, I know with some injury interruptions mixed in, he's having a historic season. but the pitching has carried them the whole time. And even though they got a lot of famous guys in the lineup, that is where they have struggled. And I think that's generally continued to be true. That said, they didn't really add anything on offense at the plate. So they're, at the deadline. So they're really counting on their guys to eventually break out. And Seager, you can count on them. But besides that, there have been very few hitters that they've been able to really rely on for the course of the season. And I think that's why Texas is still the team that you kind of trust the least.
I think we kind of get spoiled when we watch what Wu does because he's been doing it all year, last couple of years, right? Just how would you describe what he's doing and how he ranks when you look at some of the top starters in the league?
Yeah, I'm so glad you mentioned that. I mean, the fact about him, you're allowing that home run in the first inning, he's incredible. I mean, for still a relatively young pitcher to not have any hiccups to be so rare his game, and especially for a guy that obviously his biggest question early in his career was durability and workload and being able to take the ball for sure. And I mean, since he's been back from, I guess, that injured list stint, middle of last season, I want to say, he's just been unreal. And I mean, you just can't say good enough things about him.
Recently for Yahoo Sports, you wrote about the 10 players you'll be watching closely post-trade deadline. It looks like a Seattle Mariner made the list. Do you have your eye on Miller?
No, so Cole Young was the guy I highlighted there. But I figured you would ask me about Bryce Miller because he's someone that, like, I'll be totally honest, I was, like, ready to write him off. Just the way that he was talking about his injuries this year and the way that he was looking, like, it was nothing against Bryce. I mean, Bryce is an incredible player and personality that is so easy to root for, but it just did not seem like something that was trending positively. But, man, I mean, with how he looked in his rehab, I know they're still taking it slow, but he could really turn this rotation into something that would be, what we were much more used to last year. So, to me, anything they're getting from Miller at this point is bonus. Maybe that's not how the organization is thinking about it, but he would probably be that second one if I was picking a Mariner that I'm most intrigued by over the last couple months.
How do you feel like Dan has handled this new lineup? It's almost like you got a new car and your parents are letting you drive it, and you just want to be super cautious with it, treat it right. How do you feel like he's handled this lineup so far?
Yeah, I mean, part of it is when you have that many decent hitters, kind of put them in whatever order. And I mean, people are always going to have opinions about the lineups, but it makes it a lot easier when you can have a Naylor or a Suarez moved as far down as fifth or sixth, and you're going to get real production. And Canzone too. I mean, my goodness, what he's been able to do this season has just made a huge difference. So I don't know. I mean, maybe they do keep shuffling it a little bit to try and find something stable. Obviously, it does seem like whether they're facing a lefty or righty does still sort of impact how they're shuffling things, and that's pretty normal. So maybe they'll end up on something, but right now they got enough good hitters going that doesn't really make much of a difference.
I was really, really hoping that Seattle would leave the trade deadline as, like, so clearly above and beyond, having made the best moves in the AL West in particular. And then Houston surprised everyone by acquiring Carlos Correa and having that reunion there. I know that they're so banged up, but they have still been hanging on to this lead in the AL West. How do you see kind of their projection throughout the latter part of summer here, whether it's getting back some important pieces or maybe the impact Correa could have?
Yeah, so Correa is obviously the headliner. I actually wrote about Jesus Sanchez for my piece this week just because he's another guy that, I mean, Houston has lacked left-handed power to a ridiculous degree this season with Jordan out. And I think people kind of roll their eyes when they say, oh, well, they're going to get these guys back. That's like another deadline addition from injury. But I think with the Astros, it's totally true. I mean, I don't know what the timelines are for Jordan and all these pitchers like Christian Javier. I mean, that's a game-changing pitcher. And if he's going to come back, that makes them look a lot better on the mound. So I think how healthy they end up being down the stretch is probably going to say a lot more about their ceiling than honestly Correa, who to this point has not been having a good season whatsoever. So maybe he's rejuvenated to some degree, but I think it's more about those other guys that have been injured.
How do they work in Robles once he is healthy and ready to go? You got Rayleigh, who can play the position, Canzone as well, who's been playing some decent ball. If you were the guy making the decisions, how does this work?
Man, if Victor's healthy, like, he's going to play, especially against left-handed pitching, and that's something that they really need right now. I think as awesome as Canzone has been, and Rayleigh is kind of tough to talk about at this stage because of his injury and because of how he looked when he came back, and because of his struggles against left-handers. But they will take Robles as not just his bat against left-handed pitching and his on base and his speed, but also his defense. I mean, that's something that Canzone's been okay, but in terms of just like your best lineup, you could even say against righties, especially if we're talking about defense, I think it does include Robles. So that's another one where I'm trying to keep my expectations low because of the injury that he's coming back from and how they're going to be able to work him in, because it's not as apparent that he's going to be able to get everyday at bats. That said, I mean, just his energy, even in a part-time role, I think is going to make a huge difference.
Last one, Jordan, and it's easy. What do you got coming out this week for Baseball Barbiecast?
Yeah, so Friday, I mean, I actually was off today, so I got a special pod guest with Foolish Baseball, the GOAT baseball YouTuber as far as I'm concerned. So you can go listen to him as special co-host with Jake today. But I'll be back on Friday, and we'll keep the fun times going. And by the way, guys, I'm going to be in Williamsport for the Little League Classic, so I'm very much looking forward to that.
Let's go.
In a couple weeks.
There you go.
Let's go.
So looking forward to that.
Well, enjoy the rest of your day off. We're excited for hearing you back on there on Friday. He is Yahoo Sports' Jordan Shusterman. Thanks, Jordan.
Thanks, Jordan.
Thanks, guys. See you next week.
All right, let's get to 4 Down territory.
This is 4 Down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael
What was the word?
Bumpus.
Constructure.
Constructure.
I was trying to remember it for a minute.
I like that.
Carbonate and constructure.
Constructure. We're on a roll.
This is a
week
great
has
Wednesday.
Was gratifying last week?
I'm blaming it on the heat of training camp. Curtis and Matt already make fun of me. I've not had a lot of water.
We've been indoors for both of those moments.
Yeah, but it's almost 70 degrees in here.
I don't make excuses. It's just greatness.
I don't make excuses.
It's just greatness. It's
It's
constructure.
just greatness. It's constructure.
It's gratifying. It's carbonate. It's like carbon dioxide, but in the wine form.
I know, that's right. First down. Why do you think Pete will play his starters on Thursday?
I was wondering about this because Geno Smith has proven in this league. He has shown that he can play. But something tells me that Geno wants to play, at least some in the preseason game, and Pete just wants to set a tone. He's like, look, we're not going to do what is normally done here in this building. I'm changing the culture. I'm bringing in my guys, and you're going to play at least a series or two. And I think it's a tone setter. And I think it's important for Pete just to get some live action film on these guys. I know he believes in them, but that's the best way to critique and to teach your guys, to develop them, is to have that film. So even if it is just for 10 to 15 plays, I think it's going to be really beneficial. And I'm excited because we know we're not going to see starters on the Seahawks end. You're going to be talking about 2s and 3s, which I have no problem talking about. I love that journey. But it's also nice to see some starters out there for the Raiders. So I think it's just Pete consciously wanting to change the way things are done in that building. And I think that Geno Smith just wants to play. He wants to get out there. He wants to go on a drive, dice the defense up, and go sit down and prove to himself. It ain't about anybody else. With Geno, it's all about him. Prove to himself that he made the right decision.
Second down. What drafted rookie should get the most playing time tomorrow?
It's got to be Arroyo. I think it has to be Arroyo because he's going to be used in many positions. I know you can go Horton because he's putting some pressure on MVS, but I think it's Arroyo because he's going to be asked to do the most. He'll be attached to the line of scrimmage. He'll be in the slot. He'll be outside. They're going to motion him. Going to do all these things with Arroyo and just instill some confidence in Kubiak. I'm sure he already has confidence in him. We've seen the way he's been used at practice. Him and A.J. Barnes seem like they have a nice little duo. And Saubert has made some plays as well. I know we don't talk about Saubert, the number 3 tight end over there, but he's made some plays as well. I really like how this tight end group is shaping up. I think those are going to be your 3 guys, but I think it's important for Arroyo to take what he's done in practice and put it in a game situation because things speed up. Things get real. You don't get these reminders, breaking the huddle, running to the line of scrimmage. The tempo is a bit faster. He's going to be asked to do a lot. So I think that of all the rookies, Arroyo should get the most playing time because he's going to be asked to do the most. But it's going to be Milroe. Milroe, the third-string quarterback. You got to protect your number 2 in Locke. You got to protect your number 1 in Sam Darnold, minus the quarterback because that's inevitable. I think Arroyo should get the bulk of the snaps. He's going to be asked to do the most.
Well, speaking of Milroe, third down. How will the offense look with Jalen under center?
Naturally, people think with Jalen in that the offense is just going to look different, that there's going to be a whole bunch of QB runs, read options, and all that good stuff. I think that's going to be, you're going to see that type of stuff, but I also think that it's going to look the same as it would with Sam or Drew in there. And the reason why it's going to look that way is because you're going to need him to operate the offense as is. It can't just be, okay, we're just going to use his athleticism and try to make some plays with his legs. We're going to influence the defense that way. Yes, you can use that to your advantage. You can hold the DNs. You can influence the linebackers, trick the safeties or whatnot, but he's a rookie. He's got to show that He understands this Kubiak offense to a T. There's no rush for him. He is going to take his time. They're going to develop him. We're not going to see him much this year, I don't think, unless injuries happen, which God forbid. But no, it's going to look the same. Only thing different is that he's going to run the ball about 3 or 4 times. Only thing different is that when the play breaks down, he might be first to run rather than to throw the football. But it's important that Jalen Milroe shows everyone in that building that he's progressing. And we don't know how far he is in his progression. You know, they could have certain expectations for him, and they can be completely different than what we expect from Jalen Milroe. Me personally, I expect an interception. I expect the ball thrown in the dirt. I expect him to miss a read. That's all part of developing a quarterback in this league. So it's going to look the same. You're just going to see a better athlete back there. He might tuck it around a few more times.
4th down. I like this one. What take did you have that might not be true midway through the season?
This might be completely wrong.
Okay.
I said that MVS is going to be the sniper. We're looking at the way Horton is being used at practice, and he is on MVS's heels right now. I think MVS does deserve the start when the season starts because he has shown that he can handle an offense. The only knock I have with MVS, love the person, love the route runner, love his energy at practice. You know what he's been known for, and that's just the drops at times, right? Now, at one point of his career, has he caught more than 50% of the passes thrown to him?
What?
43%, 32%, 49%, 48%, 40%, 36%, 40%. He's just a big play type of guy, right? Or maybe twice. I'm sorry, there's a 52% there. But he's known for that, right? Every now and then he's going to drop the football, but that's not all on him. It could be a bad throw. It can be the defender making a good play, maybe a bad read. So as long as he is just consistent as far as catching the football, he's going to make it tougher for Horton. But just the way that he's been used at practice, it feels like that battle is closer than we may think.
Someone has a word suggestion for you.
Oh, let's go.
Earlier today, the other day you said gratifying as a new word. Earlier today you said Cabernet instead of Cabernet. Someone says, I got a new word for bump, rhetorical. Used when asking a rhetorical question that you want a real answer to.
Rhetorical.
That's good.
I like that one.
Just a rhetorical question.
It's a rhetorical question.
A rhetorical question. Who would you rather start at quarterback, though? But what I want to know is, like, what your answer is.
Yeah.
I like it.
I like that.
Rhetorical is a good one. Matt, Curtis, have you guys ever had a bumpism where you combine some words and create a new word?
No, but there used to be this, I think it was like a Miller Lite commercial or a Bud Light commercial years ago. And it was somebody pretending, I think, to be like a lawyer. And they go, this is a travesty, it's a sham, and it's a mockery. It's a Travis-mockery. And I like to say that whenever something bad happens.
That's a good one, Matt. Any for you?
I truly cannot think of anything I've ever said that's as ridiculous as gratifying.
Ridiculous? The people love it, you hater.
Yeah, people really did love it. I don't know if I can call him a hater.
It's just above you, man.
What does that say about the people?
It's just above you.
It's
all right.
Let's go with that.
I think sometimes, we need to reframe how we see inventing words. You know what I mean? Like when Bootylicious hit the scene, no one was ready for it, and now it's something that we recognize as a more powerful word.
Nobody flinched.
No one flinched.
Just used it.
When gratifying hit the scene a week ago, I think that we weren't ready for that word actually feeling, and I mean more gratifying than either of the words it originally was. Like it just is a more powerful word.
It is.
Sometimes I think we take away from the words by saying them wrong, but I think sometimes we can make them more powerful.
And that's what we do here. Make them powerful.
Give words, fake words, power.
Give them power.
The worst possible outcome for a Micah Parsons trade coming your way next.
Seahawks training camp is underway.
That is music to the ears.
And nobody gives you more insider access than the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Coach McDonald sitting down with us right now. This thing on and ready for you.
Watch how the Seahawks roster comes together.
Seattle Sports training camp coverage is presented by the Landing in Renton.
Seahawks training camp on Seattle Sports on 710, the Seattle Sports app, and the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Dave Wyman here, and since I stopped playing football, we've been fortunate to live in the same house for over 20 years. That type of longevity is a good thing, except 20 years in the same house means a lot of things start to break. Most recently, it's our windows. Virtually every seal has broken, and that's why I reached out to Harley Exteriors. Chris and Ray came out to the house, and I could instantly tell we'd get along great, and I'd want to do business with them. They're local, they're huge fans of our teams, and big listeners to the station. Better yet, they have the best product. Olympic Series windows offered exclusively through Harley Exteriors are manufactured right here in Washington and designed for our Pacific Northwest homes and climate. That means cooler in the summer, warmer in the winter. Look up Harley Exteriors for your window replacement. In August, Harley Exteriors is offering 50% off basic installation, no payments for 1 year, and an additional $200 off your project. Call 833-HARLEY or go to harleyexteriors.com.
Progressive knows we all crave validation.
Girl, you are not 37.
I would have guessed 27.
You guys are too sweet.
Sure, dewy skin. Terrific.
Is something wrong, Ned?
Why would you ask? Just because today marks my 10th anniversary without a car accident or even a speeding ticket? But somehow, tonight's all about your skincare.
Wow. With Snapshot from Progressive, you can get a personalized rate based on how you drive. And that's all the validation you need. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit MuckleshootCasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here, and we've been talking about this. Luxury awaits at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. You can book now for an unforgettable summer experience because the hotel opens up August 8th. Bookings are open at snocasino.com starting on August 8th. The expanded non-gaming floor, the destination spa, the big new entertainment space and convention center, new restaurants as well. They're combining effortless style with the utmost in relaxation. Go to snocasino.com for details. Seattle's closest, now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Windows are our home's top target for break-ins. At Lake Washington Windows and Doors, we offer added security with our exclusive 3-layer security glass protection. Combined with our lifetime warranty, you'll have lifetime peace of mind. Choose Lake Washington Windows and Doors, a name you can trust.
Beat rising costs at Lake Washington Windows and Doors. For a limited time, get a 20% inflation discount and enjoy easy 18-month free financing with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest. Details at lakewashingtonwindows.com.
This is The Timeline
with Bump and Stacy.
brought to you by 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
Have you ever had a friend move on a little too quickly from a breakup? Diamondbacks manager Tori Lavulu couldn't help but notice just how excited Gino Suarez was to rejoin the Mariners.
Yeah, he's getting to go back home to a team that he knows very well, to a group that he's probably going to just jump right into and help him start winning baseball games. And there's some familiarity to it. A little pissed at him because when I called him, he already had a Seattle Mariner picture up on his phone. Like it'd been like 7 hours, and he already had that thing changed out already.
I love hearing it.
Priorities, man. I mean, you're signed to another team.
Yeah.
It's time to move on.
You got to switch it up.
Time to be strong.
Let's go. 7 hours is honestly too long.
Yeah, you make that switch. That's today's world. Like, kids are quick to switch up their banners and avatars or whatnot. And Gino is just in touch with the youth. So he says, I'm not wasting any time. You know where I'm from now. Seattle gang.
He said, I am a Seattle Mariner.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you want me to tell you, Tori. Like, I'm really sorry, but this is who I am. No, it was really funny. Obviously, all in good fun. And I also think it's cool that we keep hearing stories about how, as much as Gino prior to the deadline was on the record saying, I really hope I'm not traded. Like, it is stressful. It would be very stressful to be traded from one club to another. You're in the middle of a great year. You get to know these guys. You're fighting with these guys, and then all of a sudden you're somewhere else. I would imagine it is at least a relief to get traded to a place where not only does your family already have some history, like your wife has a lot of friends here, but you know the people here and they love you.
I think you said it best. When you're a married man, your partner has a lot of influence on everything. If they're not happy, nobody in that house is happy. So I'm sure, I would assume that his wife wasn't excited about the possibilities of him being traded, but this is probably best case scenario for her. She, like you said, she has her favorite convenience store that's going to tax you on wine. She has friends over here already. It's familiar. So that's a plus for that family.
Not the convenience store getting another shout out.
I love them, man.
Let them charge for their Cabernet.
Charge what you want. Charge for your Cabernet. I'm going to pay for it again. I'll see you tomorrow.
What would be the worst possible outcome for a Micah Parsons trade? Now, the other day I mentioned that the 49ers have the third most cap space in the league. What about a trade to the Rams? That would be pretty bad. How about a trade to the Rams that would also bring Aaron Donald out of retirement? Donald and Parsons had a back and forth on Instagram about the possibility of Parsons coming to L.A. Aaron Donald said, if at Micah Parsons 11 goes to the Rams, I might have to call at 210s and get in football shape. With that D-line, we would be unreal. And then Micah responded, man, don't tell me info like that, and then tagged his agent.
Stop playing, man. Don't you do that to us. The NFC West does not need this. And the thing about Aaron Donald is he's not in bad shape right now. Like, him getting back into football shape is like 2-3 weeks. So let me get out there. I'm already lifting every day. I'm in physical great shape, but football shape is a bit different. This would be a nightmare, not only for the NFC West, but for the rest of the league. I wish the Hawks could be petty and just block and say, no, we're going to grab him. That's not how it works. Money has to be right. Situation has to be right. But this would create, I would say, a top – now the D-line is already top 5 in the game. This would create a top 3 box for this team. Please don't let this happen. Somebody stop them.
Congratulations. You just get a job as an NBA security guard working for the Miami Heat offices. What's one thing you would absolutely not do at your job? Matt, what's one thing you would not do as a security guard working for the Miami Heat?
Pretend to be a player and run out onto the court.
Okay, fair answer. Curtis, how about you? What's one thing you would absolutely not do? You'd be too afraid to do that as a security guard.
Or maybe do something that would cost you your job.
Okay.
Just letting unsightly people in.
Okay, so not keeping things secure.
Right.
Bump, how about you? One thing you definitely wouldn't want to do.
Stealing. You can't steal.
That's actually
stealing.
the correct. And all these are correct answers. You don't want to run on the court pretending to be a player, as Matt said.
That'd be fun.
Like Curtis said, you don't want to let people run onto the court. You want to keep things secure. And Bump, you're absolutely right. A former Miami Heat security officer is accused of selling stolen jerseys And other memorabilia worth millions of dollars, over $2 million in stolen jerseys, made his initial appearance in federal court yesterday. The 62-year-old from Miami
Oh, he's 62.
was charged with transporting and transferring stolen goods in interstate commerce.
Listen, it's wrong. But I
You're
respect
not about
it.
to say
At
that
62, you still living that thug life? 62, you're stealing like that? Listen, I don't know anyone's financial situation. Who knows? Maybe he really needs the money. I'm not saying that's the right way to go about it, but you threw the number 62 out there. I thought for sure it was going to be like, 27-year-old, 30-year-old.
The
No.
62-year-old is a 25-year retired veteran of the Miami Police Department who worked for the Heat as a security guard from 2016 to 2021 and was also an NBA security employee from 22 to 25. Among the things he stole and then sold included a Miami Heat jersey worn by LeBron during the NBA Finals for approximately $100,000.
Man.
Now, what's crazy is
that's bold.
that jersey later sold at an official auction for $3.7 million, but he sold it for $100,000.
Yeah, you do what you got to do. No, that's not right. But the more you tell me about this guy, the more I could see why he thought he can get away with
I
it.
thought you were about to say, but it's okay.
No, it's not okay. It's not okay. But, he worked for the team. He was a police officer. He figured, I know how to get away with this. I've studied this for years. I got it. At 62, you are living a dangerous life, my friend.
He had access to the equipment room to steal in all more than 400 game-worn jerseys and other items. Here's my question. When there was that employee of the Jags who was basically using a company credit card to create fake expenses and then steal that money, and he got away with it for like 4 years. It was not okay. He stole millions. He said like, "Oh, I have a gambling addiction." And gambling addiction is like real. Like it's absolutely a real thing. But like you stole things. I can see how you could cover it up and get away with it for a while. I don't know how you could cover up stealing like a jersey on display. I mean, I guess you could put another jersey there, but like you could only get away. This crime has a very short time limit, is what I'm saying.
Well, these jerseys weren't displayed. I think they were in like a storage closet somewhere in the Heat facility.
That's just
maybe he was like, well, if they're not being used for anything, like
you think anyone wants this?
might as well just steal this LeBron James jersey.
You know what I'm saying?
There's
though?
cameras
like,
everywhere too.
Cameras everywhere. And even if they're there, you don't know all the details about what's happening. Maybe they're going to move them to some display. Maybe they're going to ship them somewhere. Maybe they're planning to send them to auction. Like, I get so much anxiety learning about these kinds of crimes because you know that this person's going to get caught. You are going to get caught, and you're going to get caught relatively quickly.
He must not have had enough experiences growing up. Like, I've seen homies get caught stealing. I got caught stealing one time, and that's all it took. I was like, yep.
That's all it took
This ain't
for
the
you.
life for me. I'm good. But at 62?
You were a police officer for 25 years?
That's the thing. He had the intel. He thought he had the perfect plan, and it just backfired on him.
It was a perfect crime.
I want them to make a movie out of this.
It's like a new Bad Boys plot because they're based in Miami.
And it's just, it never leaves the vicinity for the Miami Heat. Like, the entire thing is just kept to the one, like, janitorial office. Some cool history will be made this weekend as minor league umpire Jen Powell will become the first woman to ump a Major League Baseball game. She'll be on the crew for this weekend's Marlins Braves series.
I swear I just asked somebody that if there's ever been a female ump over there.
Well, now there has.
That's awesome. Good.
She's been umpiring the minors since 2016 and got to umpire spring training games during the 2024 season.
That's awesome.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
All right, still to come, Seahawks.com reporter John Boyle. We've been so Mariners heavy today for good reason, not just talking about a win, but we had some big topics we couldn't wait to discuss with Jordan Shusterman, who joined us at 11. If you guys missed that, it'll be on the Bump and Stacy podcast kicking off hour 2. The podcast is usually published and available around 3 p.m. We do have some Seahawks stuff to get to. Tomorrow's a preseason game. I don't know if you guys were aware, but the Raiders are coming to town. Pete Carroll, pretty big deal. So Seahawks.com reporter John Boyle is going to join us coming up in about 20 minutes. And then a bit later at 12:30, we're going to take a look around the NFL. We've got some stuff coming out. Big news out of Vikings camp and then also some stuff from the 49ers. So, again, that's coming up at noon. Sticking with the Mariners for just a little bit longer here with some new sound. Don't go anywhere.
As the calendar flips to August, it's all about the push to the playoffs.
It's on the way, swinging a drive, deep to right field, right above the hand-operated scoreboard. There's number 1 for Gino in a Mariners uniform.
Tonight, Mariners, White Sox.
First pitch at 6:40. Pregame at 5:30.
Every pitch of every game is on Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app, the home of the Mariners.
When your outside matches how you feel on the inside, that's kindness. And so I think that is the one thing that the Lee Johnson Auto family encourages us, is to be like really authentic and really be intentional in how we treat our customers and how we treat each other.
To have a good company, have a good culture, have a good crew that takes care of your customer base, you have to take care of your crew. You can't have miserable people and expect them to give a customer a good experience.
Walking in here, meeting some of the employees already before I was even hired on, welcoming me in, gave me a good indication what this company was all about. So if I were to make an hour and a half drive here and to have fun here for 8 to 9 hours a day versus if it's the other way around, then I'll take it.
It's not a script. It's a belief. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Need a new roof now? With State Roofing and Exteriors, you can get started with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's right. Protect your home now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
Rare and luxurious 100 years of exceptional automobiles is currently on display at LeMay, America's Car Museum. Feel the thrill of racing simulators. It's excitement for all, and out-of-town visitors will love it. Visit americascarmuseum.org.
You gotta love football season, but when it comes to your windows and doors, you don't want any fumbles. Steve Rabel here, reminding you to trust locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington to tackle your project. Their selection of windows and doors can't be beat, and they'll give you top-notch customer service with no trick plays. Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over at PCF Construction. If you're seeking a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, maybe a new deck, patio cover, railings, well, my friends at PCF have you covered. This summer, well, you can enjoy 12 months of no interest and no payments. And how about this? Plus 50% off a design and architectural drawing package, or up to $5,000 off an undercover system. If you're looking at your outside and saying, golly, what a beautiful summer in the Pacific Northwest, and we can't take advantage of it, well, take advantage of these offers today. If you've been wanting that new deck, that new patio cover, make the call. Get online right now and connect with my friends at PCF. You can find all the offer details. You can get project ideas, and you can browse photos at PCFgroup.com or call today at 425-629-8476. Don't let this offer pass you by. It's 425-629-8476.
Summer is here, and Washington Energy's BOGO 40% off sale is on now. Update and enhance your home with beautiful new windows and doors, expertly installed by Washington Energy Services. Save today with one of our best deals of the year. Buy one energy-efficient window, get the second at 40% off. And BOGO 40% off all entry, patio, and interior doors right now. From traditional to modern home updates, and with over 65 years of award-winning installations, Washington Energy is the clear choice. Call today for a free estimate. The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, 2-run home run!
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain and and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
Contractors and heavy equipment operators, get ready. The James G. Murphy Auction Company presents one of the biggest heavy equipment auctions of the summer. On the auction block, we've got 13 excavators, including a 2018 Komatsu PC 238 USLC-11, a 2015 Komatsu PC 138, and a CAT 308 mini excavator. Also up for auction, a 2020 Komatsu WA 270-8 wheel loader, a 2017 John Deere 317G skid steer, 2 backhoes, and 3 rollers. Looking for trucks? Choose from over 100 options, including a 2017 Kenworth T880 with a wet kit and 4 Vector trucks. And if you're in need of contractor's equipment, we've got a massive assortment for you to choose from. Bidding starts 10 a.m. Thursday the 7th and starts closing at 10 a.m. August 14th. And don't miss your chance to preview all items August 12th through the 13th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at our Marysville location. For more information, visit murphyauction.com. That's murphyauction.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, well, the good news for the Mariners is maybe the single biggest question we've had about this team over not just this season, but the last couple years has been answered. It was a version of, what can the offense look like if the best player isn't performing? So we had multiple segments this year about, well, who else besides Cal Raleigh can really step up to the plate? What does this offense look like if Cal isn't hitting? How do you add enough? And that was a massive, massive question for this team. And even though this year it was about Cal, last year it was, hey, if Julio doesn't take off, then what's your hope to win, right? There's always been just massive question marks offensively. Gino and Naylor changed that. In fact, this was Robert Murray on with us the other day.
I think it's whether or not this offense is going to end up being sustainable. And I think it will be. I had a lot of questions coming into the deadline with what exactly, because their offense overperformed or it exceeded expectations. I think that's a better way of phrasing it in the first half of the season. And they needed to make some changes on offense or add some pieces on offense in order to do so. So to me, they solved my biggest question for them. And
how fitting that last night brought a game where there was a home run from both Naylor and from Gino. Okay, so if the Mariners had one massive question answered, which ones still remain for us? Text line open 866-979-3776. Bump, how about you? What's a question that still kind of remains for you?
I mean, there's no question with the lineup or the rotation because we feel like we know Miller's coming back and you know who are going to be your 5 guys there. We have an idea about the bullpen, who you're going to use there. The lineup is going to be set. How are you going to use Robles? I think that's a question there. But my question is more just a stat or a situation. And we let off the show, and I mentioned this, is just runners in scoring position. They're just not very good. Simple stat batting average. They're batting .229. That is tied for worst in the game when it comes to runners in scoring position. You're down there with the Chicago White Sox, and then even the Colorado Rockies have a better batting average. Let's talk about OPS with runners in scoring position. Not going to be too great, obviously. They're 24th in the game. How about RBIs? You're going to expect they're going to be a bit down there, a little bit. They're 21st. So they have a lineup that reflects championship, yet this number right here doesn't. Granted, most of these numbers of this stat is compiled of games way before you got Naylor and Gino and this team started to turn a corner a little bit. So that's something that I just want to see improve because if you want to win a championship, you got to be able to drive runs in. We know they've done the bulk of that with hitting bombs. And when it comes to hitting home runs with runners in scoring position, they are 12th with 33. The best, the Dodgers with 45. So not a big gap there, but you see it. So that's something that I want to see improve, and I think will just with the talent that you have on this lineup right now. So as far as the positions, I'm looking at every position on the field, and I think they're good. Right field, you can rotate some guys there if you want to. I know the starters are going to be. The bullpen has been okay. We know that once it gets to Brash and Munoz, you feel a bit better there. So, no, as far as personnel-wise, have no questions because they can't be answered anyway. The roster is set. It's more situational stuff.
I like that we have different ones. And I agree with you. I think that situational hitting and making sure that they're still flowing there is a really, really important one. It's one thing to be like, hey, they've got all the pop and power in the world. It's another thing when you're not driving runners in, especially in close games against really good teams. The 360 has one that's a little more similar to mine. 360 says, biggest question, can the bullpen can the bullpen avoid costing games in the playoffs, assuming we get there?
Mm-hmm.
I think that two of the most important things you can need to have in the postseason is slugging, the ability to slug.
Right.
And the second is like elite pitching or really, really good pitching. I think that bad pitching will cost you. Last year, we wondered if great pitching could get you there in spite of struggling offenses. I thought maybe the answer could be yes, but it turns out it's no. So you can have elite pitching and still not get there, but elite pitching is going to be a really important part to the recipe to how you end up winning. You don't need an elite 1 through 5. Can your top 2 guys look like aces? Can your bullpen, despite not adding everything you wanted at the deadline, stay healthy and stay really productive? I feel like pitching is, ironically, considering last season, but ironically where my questions lie now.
That's a good question because we haven't seen the consistency that we're used to seeing with this team over the past 2 or 3 seasons with the arms. So I think that is legit. What's encouraging is that Castillo started off rough and has quietly played some better ball. Wu is being Wu. Obviously, Kirby has his up and downs, but more ups than downs. No, I still look at the 5-man and think there's not many touching them, if any, especially when these guys are on point. And if they can lead the charge, it's almost like how we're asking the defense for the Seahawks to come out and lead the charge because the offense is going to need a little help. If the arms can lead the charge, the offense is set. I don't think they're going to need help. I think you have enough guys who have experience, who have some good clutch numbers, and who have the talent to overcome some things. So it does. Even though you got better with the lineup, we're still looking at the arms and asking them to be the leaders here.
866-979-3776. All right, if the Mariners answered one massive question, which one still remains for you? Bump mentioned situational hitting. Hey, it's great that you added the bats. Can they continue to deliver with runners in scoring position? So far in a couple games, we haven't necessarily seen that, and he'd like to see a little bit more. I'm looking at the health and just availability, performance of the bullpen. A couple more here. 206, their lingering question. Can we beat Houston? And I'll say, they didn't say this, but I'll also combine it with, can you catch up to Houston?
Yeah, I think you can catch up to Houston. I'm going to pull up their schedule real quick and just see what they have going on. But we've spoken to several national people, and they all think that the Mariners are more talented, but Astros just have that pedigree, man. It's almost like the Patriots. When you go to the Patriots, you fall in line and say, this is the Patriot way. When you go to the Astros, you fall in line and automatically think we have a chance to do this. They have a series with Miami. They won 2 in a row against them. One more game today. Then they have New York, who's been struggling. Then they have Boston, who's been playing decent ball, and then Baltimore. Like the rest of their season doesn't look too difficult within the next month. You get to September, things change a little bit. You have the Texas, Toronto, who's been playing well. And I also think Salk made a good point this morning about Toronto, about any team in the AL. There's no team in the AL where you're thinking, oh, my God, juggernaut. This team is too good. You got to get extremely lucky to beat them. Before the trade deadline, before the trades, you felt like you had a chance. Now you're thinking you for sure have a chance. And that's a good place to be. But, yeah, can you beat the Astros? They've been the nemesis for the past, 7, 8, 9 years. And you got to be able to beat Big Brother.
2 more here. Someone first said, why do you think Dipoto didn't add more bullpen help? From everything that we've heard, including Robert Murray, who we had on yesterday, being like an actual source reporter, said that they tried very, very hard to, and were probably the runner-up for Duran.
Yeah.
That they had a really, really competitive package. I think that it is understandable to look at a team that's typically missed out, say, in free agency, and be like, oh, you just didn't try hard enough. I think sometimes, though, at the trade deadline, it can be you give a really, really competitive trade package, but they like a different prospect more. And you can't offer that prospect.
Yeah.
Well, that's something the Phillies are offering.
Hollander said, I forgot who we referenced, but I think it was Wyman and Bob show because they interviewed Hollander, right? They said he just kept saying no. And I think that was a risky approach because at some point a team might say, okay, then we're moving on.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are going to give us what we want. And the Mariners are sitting there thinking, they don't have what we have, though.
Yeah.
Like, we can give you a bit more. So being stubborn in that situation ended up helping, and it was a gamble. And we've been asking these guys to gamble. And it did it in a way that I didn't like in hindsight. It ended up working out, but it's all good now.
Last one. Joe in Bellevue says, his lingering question, can Dan Wilson make the right moves at the right time and not make decisions just based on stats? I would almost say just based on gut, kind of like an old school manager, I think.
Sometimes you got to use the human aspect. I know numbers are good and numbers don't lie, but there's room for error. Numbers aren't perfect. No one ever says 1,000% of the time this is what they do. No, there's room for error. So, Dan, it's finding the combination, right, with your gut feeling, with your baseball knowledge, and then combine the data at the same time.
A big story coming out of Vikings camp. That's coming your way in NFL headlines at 12:30. Before then, Seahawks.com reporter John Boyle joins us next.
He's the best catcher in baseball.
Pitch to Cal, swinging a drive.
And he's on Seattle Sports, Thursday afternoons all season long. It's the Honey Bucket Cal Raleigh Show.
Presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians.
More history for Cal Raleigh.
I love being here and I love these fans in the city.
Catch every episode of the Honey Bucket Cal Raleigh Show, presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians, on the Seattle Sports YouTube page, the Seattle Sports app, and seattlesports.com.
It is that time of year. I cannot wait for the weather to get warm like it is now on consecutive days. That means I can break the motorcycle out, ride to work, ride all over the place, and I love it more than just about anything. But I also know that it's not a matter of if, but when you get in an accident, what are you going to do? Well, I'll tell you, when you're injured in a motorcycle crash, don't settle for firms that say they're motorcycle lawyers. Trust the ones who live it. Law Tigers has been a part of the writing community for nearly 25 years nationwide. They're here 24/7. 365 days a year because writers deserve real support when they need it. Law Tigers is the resource writers can turn to when they are in need. Law Tigers is out at all the events and supporting all clubs and shops. The Law Tigers are always by your side. Your case evaluation is always free. There are no fees until your case settles. The Law Tigers, you never ride alone. Law Tigers, Washington's motorcycle lawyers. Jimmy Cook, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-275-1728. That's 800-275-1728.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health, it's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Roman Anthony and the Red Sox are finalizing an 8-year, $130 million contract extension that could reach up to $230 million per ESPN's Jeff Passan. That deal includes a club option that'll keep Anthony in Boston through 2034. The 21-year-old rookie outfielder was the #1 prospect in baseball when he was called up back on June 9th. The Mariners are taking on the White Sox for Game 2 today, 6:40 p.m. first pitch, 5:30 p.m. pregame right here on Seattle Sports.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Seahawks.com reporter John Boyle joining us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Seahawks set to welcome the Raiders for preseason week 1 tomorrow. And, John, I'm guessing Pete Carroll is going to get a very warm welcome from fans. Any idea whether there's anything planned on the Seahawks side? What kind of reception do you anticipate?
To the second part of that question, I have no idea if anything's planned. Nothing that I've heard of is, but that doesn't necessarily mean there isn't. But reception-wise, I'm sure it's going to be great. I mean, look, it's, the guy won the first Super Bowl in franchise history. He had 14 great seasons here. Fans love him, understandably. And as Mike said, people should be cheering for him and cheering for Geno. Like, those guys both, Pete especially, were big parts of this team's success in their history. So I'm sure it's going to be a really warm reception. I think it kind of helps as a preseason game, so fans don't have to feel like as conflicted about it. Because sure, you want to, every time you take the field, you want to win, but it's not this like, oh, this is so important, we want to crush you. It's like, hey, we're out having fun, getting ready for the season, and here's Pete Carroll.
Boyle, there's a few ways that people are going to watch this game. There are some that are just going to watch for a couple snaps and call it boring. There are people like me who are going to watch every single snap intently. How do you watch this game? I mean, you got to write about it. Do you go into this game focused on a certain player or story, or do you kind of let it unfold and you take what you can from it?
A little bit of both. I mean, there's always, position battles you're curious about, young players you want to see, how they're developing, things like that. So you always wait and see how the game unfolds. But, Mike McDonald said we always want to win, and I get that. But usually your biggest takeaways from the game are not the win or the loss. It's, how are guys developing? What's the competition like at these offensive line spots? Who's making a name for himself at receiver in these battles for spots, things like that. So those are usually the bigger angles for these preseason games than the actual, scoreboard.
I know fans will be very excited to see a few of these rookies. I don't know how much we're actually going to see from someone like Zabel, who they're really counting on for the offensive line, though I'm sure he'll eventually in the preseason get a few snaps here. I am excited to see, though, Horton in that wide receiver group, who I do think we're going to see quite a bit of this preseason. What have you seen from him in camp?
Yeah, I mean, really, it's been about the last week or so. He's emerged as just a big-time playmaker for them, and you've seen, his reps increase where he's out there more and more with the starting guys and getting those reps with Sam Darnold. So he's looked awesome. It's even more impressive when you consider that he missed most of the offseason workout program. He was around and he's in the meetings doing stuff, but as he was recovering from that knee injury that cut short his senior year, he didn't get to be on the field very much this spring. So it's really impressive what he's been doing, and he's pushing for a real role in that offense, and he's also a guy that can help them on special teams. He's a really good punt returner in college.
Ken Walker's battled some foot soreness. I think he did practice the last practice, but Charbonnet's been in the mix. Halani, Damian Martinez. Who do you think is going to get the bulk of the carries? At least let's say the first half, because I'm hoping to see Zach Charbonnet, but also understand why they wouldn't let him play a lot.
Yeah, I'd be stunned if we see any Ken Walker. Charbonnet, maybe you give him a little look, but he's a pretty proven guy at this point, and they're counting on a lot out of him this season. So if we see much of him, I'd be surprised if it's more than just a little bit. And then I think you're going to see a lot of Halani, Martinez, and then they got a couple undrafted rookies that I would bet close out a lot of this second half. So overall, Mike McDonald said they're not going to play a lot of starters. Stacy mentioned a guy like Zabel. He's going to play a little bit because he's a rookie. He needs the reps. Nick Emanwari, and Arroyo, those guys are going to get some playing time. But otherwise, I think most of the veteran starters we're not going to see much, if any, of.
Have we been able to take anything away about Clint Kubiak's offense so far? I know that in those open sessions, they're only going to show so many things, and there's only so much we know about any team before the pads actually come on in week one. But is there anything to you that at least seems obvious looking at this camp compared to last year with Ryan Grubb?
I mean, it's a lot of what we heard from Clint Kubiak when they hired him, and what we expected is this is a team they're going to be committed to run the ball. We talked to Abe Lucas yesterday, and he talked about that. It's very evident that focus. They're doing it a lot in practice. That's something that's going to be a core part of the offense. And then, there's no secret, a big part of that offense, what he likes to do is get the quarterbacks on the move, and that's something that is a strength of Sam Darnold's game. So you'll see him maybe, not on Thursday, but in general, they're going to take advantage of his ability to throw on the run and move him around. So, as you said, until we get to week one and really see it, we're not going to know, but I think we're going to see a healthy dose of the run game, and that's going to be a big part of their identity as they go forward. I mean, you got fullbacks back there, for goodness sake. That's something you hardly ever saw in recent Seahawks offenses the last few years. So seeing whether it's Oots or Brady Russell back there as a lead blocker, it's going to add a little attitude to this team.
Boy, we interview a lot of guys, and I think the Seahawks do a great job of getting good people, right? They genuinely care about their teammates. But deep down inside, I've been in this camp. I know it's a competition, right? I care about this dude, but if I can take a spot, I'm going to take it. Is there a matchup or a battle that you feel like is extremely close that fans should really pay attention to?
Yeah, I mean, there's two different things we're always watching this time of year. It's the starting jobs, and there's not a ton of starting jobs that are wide open. I think guard and center were the two that we've been keeping the closest eye on, and those aren't settled yet, but we're starting to sort of see guys trend in the direction of taking those over. But then the other thing is just always these battles for the last few spots on the roster. And, we talked about receiver earlier, and you mentioned Torrey Horton. I think coming into camp, the assumption is you go sign a veteran like MVS, and he's going to be that number 3. This offense needs a speed element because, you've got Cooper Kupp and JSN who are really good they're great route runners, are great at working the middle of the field, but you want somebody who can stretch the field and open things up for them. And we thought MVS was that guy, and he very well could be still, but Torrey Horton's pushing him there. So things like that, where it's just these different roles that, at tight end, they've got, they're going to play a lot of 2 tight ends. So maybe this is kind of a moot point, but it's between Barner and Arroyo, who's going to emerge as the guy there, because they've both been phenomenal in camp. So there's just all sorts of battles of, who's just going to earn these roles, who's going to earn roster spots. And that, again, is where the preseason is interesting, even if you don't really care about the the final score.
Remind us about some of these roster cut down decisions. Obviously, over the last couple of years, it changed from what it used to be. So what kind of deadlines are we looking at now for these guys?
Yeah, they've shifted to where it's just all one big cut. It used to be you cut. There's been different, some years they've cut 5 and then 10,
Right.
and then it was a 75 cut. Now it's just they go from 90 to 53, and that comes up. So they'll play their last preseason game in Green Bay, I want to say the 23rd-ish, somewhere in there. And then the following Tuesday is a roster cut deadline. So, it used to be with 4 preseason games, you'd play a Thursday game, and then roster cuts would come that Saturday, the week before the game. But now it's on a Tuesday. Players get that. They do get that weekend off of Labor Day, a little kind of mini bye before the preseason, and then they're back to work for week 1. But yeah, it's a little different element. I think teams like it in a lot of ways because for that last preseason game, it just gives you a deeper roster to A, make some of those final decisions, and B, just not have to put guys at risk who are your guys you're going to be counting on week 1.
Hey, this might be a tough question to answer, but you're closer to the team. Maybe you've seen some body language or some responsibility being passed down, but how close do you think AD is from calling plays consistently throughout the regular season? You feel like Mike McDonald's going to do this for another year, or do you feel like slowly he's going to start integrating Dirty a bit more this year?
Yeah, I don't have a great feel for that, but I mean, as Mike McDonald said when he was asked about this yesterday, because AD was calling the defense when Mike was out for a personal matter the other day, but he's already very involved in calling things in practice. They split a lot of that already. Game-wise, I don't know. I would think Mike wants to keep doing that for a while, but he did mention, when he was first hired, that's the kind of thing where he wants to do it initially, but someday there'll be a point if he feels comfortable passing that off that he would do that. And I think as he and AD spend more and more time together, learn to really kind of think alike and how this defense works, maybe we'll see that. And, last year he let AD call a preseason game. He hasn't told us he's doing that again, but that could be something they decide to do again. But, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of trust there, and they're really growing together and forming a good bond as coaching. But in terms of that being a full-time thing for AD, I don't know if and when that's going to happen, but I think Mike still wants to kind of run his defense and make sure it's really humming like they want it to for a full season.
It's funny and fitting that Bump's question is about, when there might be more autonomy for AD defensively, which is also, something I think a lot of people wondered when he was hired. Offensively, I'm kind of wondering the opposite. It certainly seemed like last year was like, hey, Grubb, you've got it. Hands off. Like, this is yours. And now I wonder this offseason, based on comments I've heard, whether Mike McDonald wants more influence over the offense and wants to be able to say, well, this is my team. I'm not just calling plays defensively. Like, I want to make sure we have the identity I want. Do you sense that from that room?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously going to be Clint's offense, and he's going to be the one doing the heavy lifting there. But Mike has made the point of, like, as he gets more comfortable in his head coaching role and gets, the defense more where he wants, like, he does want to be more involved in everything because that's what a head coach is. Like, you're ultimately responsible for not just how the defense performs, but the team's success. So he's gonna have a voice in that. He's gonna weigh in. But yeah, I mean, when you're a defensive play caller as a head coach, you do have to put a lot of trust in whoever you hire as a coordinator, and that's why that hire is always so important. Is like that guy is gonna be mostly running the offense. So he's got a lot of trust in Clint. I think that hire, like, they just see football very similarly. They're very similar personalities. I think that's why Mike wanted to get him in here. Is like he's gonna have the run game, the physicalness, the attitude that really complements what Mike wants to do on defense.
We had this conversation yesterday, and I made the mistake by looking at the comments, Boyle, and people call me crazy. Like, Bump, what are you talking about?
Bump, you can't listen. You can't listen to that.
It's almost like a car crash. Like, I kind of love it, too. I'm like, oh, yeah, hate on me.
Slow down to
hate
look
on
at
me.
him.
I love it. It fuels me for the next day. But I'd said that the Hawks should really make a run at Micah Parsons. They're set up to do it if they really wanted to. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it would be fun. Just what are your thoughts on that whole situation and the possibility of him coming here? I don't think it's high, not likely, but I had to get the people going.
Look, I mean, first of all, I need this very clear. I have zero inside information. These are not things that I would know about, even if something were going on. But two things I'll say is, like, this in negotiations, these come up a lot, and far more often than not, no one gets traded. And I mean, especially a player of that caliber. And secondly, like, every team is gonna, if he's actually available, every team's gonna do their due diligence. We're talking about one of the best players, defensive players in football. But yeah, I mean, I don't really. It's so far, like, out there. It's not anything in my role that I'm even really looking at or focused on. I'm much more like, hey, what's what's going on with the current team. And if they add somebody, whoever it is, to that edge group, then we'll talk about it when it happens.
I noticed as part of this conversation we were having that some of the feedback was about big personalities. And this is less about a specific thing on this team and more about your experience as a reporter, just kind of like the nature of the game and the nature of players. I feel like people sometimes don't understand how many dominant personalities are in an NFL locker room, and that kind of goes hand in hand with also being really elite. And John, you've covered maybe some of the strongest personalities we've seen here in Seattle, obviously with your time as a reporter spanning over the Legion of Boom too. Is that something that you feel like maybe some fans misunderstand about, like, part of what makes an NFL locker room tick, or part of what you're going to see in there is big abrasive personalities?
Oh, for sure. Like, I mean, A, to be an NFL player, you've got to be an amazing athlete and dedicated worker and all that. But B, like, most of these guys get to where they are because they are incredibly confident, believe in themselves, and for good reason. Like, they were good enough to get to this level. So, yeah, I mean, certain personalities emerge more than others once you get to this level, but there's not a lot of real shy, timid dudes coming up to this level who are just kind of ho-hum, I have no ego at all. And, the ego's not, I don't say that in a bad way. Like, everyone's got to believe in themselves and believe that they can be great to get to this level. So to your point earlier, like that, the juggling act Pete Carroll was able to do with some of those teams, like some of those personalities, it's pretty amazing, because that could have, all those different huge personalities, it could have gone a lot of ways, and they made it work for a long time. And so, yeah, I don't think when you talk about individual players like, oh, this personality, it's more like they're less worried about a big brash personality than they want, especially a guy like Mike. He talks about, he just wants guys who are like, they love football and they're kind of heading in the right direction with the team. And that can look a lot of different ways. And you can be a loud, abrasive, brash guy, but if you're doing everything the right way, they're going to love you.
Boyle, the football season is upon us, and a lot of us in our business have to do this. Have you said goodbye to your family? And what's that process like for you?
It is always tough when you get to August and the summer is still in full swing for your kids, and every weekend you feel like you're gone. So that part's tough, but we made the most out of the quiet period in July and had a lot of fun there. But yeah, it was a little sad for me when we were doing something that the Seahawks were off on Sunday, so we were taking the kids to the lake to go enjoy Seafair, and my middle child goes, as we were getting ready to leave, she goes, "Wait, you're coming with us?" Like, she was surprised that on a Sunday I was participating in the family activity. So, that part's a little rough, but there's a lot of good too. Yeah,
and makes the time you can spend together sweeter. I will say it certainly felt like fall. As I was driving in, it's rainy, it's gross, and I kind of was thinking, football. It's also right around the corner. He is Seahawks reporter John Boyle. Thanks so much, John.
Boyle.
Of course, happy to do it.
Let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
Curtis, I guess the headline we're technically watching right now is a no-hitter in Cleveland.
In New York.
In New York, sorry, the Guardians.
Yeah. Gavin Williams, no-hitter through 8 right now, but they're about to take the mound here. But headline 1, Jerry Jones says he's not confident Micah Parsons will be available for the Cowboys season opener on September 4th. What's the real headline?
I wonder if it's because of that trade request.
Oh, man, this is, frankly, I'm getting tired of talking about this.
Really?
I think I am.
I'm not.
I just want to, I don't want to talk about it for like 2 or 3 days. I guess I got to wait till the weekend when we're not on air. Then we won't talk about it, because who knows what's really real in this situation. Micah did request a trade, but I guarantee you if they give him what he wants, he's going to stay, but the relationship is going to be jacked up. Jerry Jones saying he's not sure if he's going to be there. If I'm Micah Parsons, I'm not giving up over $1 million a game. Like, it just gets more complicated day by day. And Jerry, just pay the man. Pay the man. He's one of the best in the game. He wrecks offensive lines. Yeah. He's versatile. He doesn't just rush a quarterback. He can drop into space. He's one of the best out there. So I'm almost there. Maybe by Friday I'll be tired of it, and then I get 2 days off, and then we'll talk about it again on
and then
Monday.
You can get a nice little break. Curtis, what was the theory Bill Simmons had about this one?
Yeah, on his most recent podcast, he was hosting with Diana Rossini, and there is a Netflix documentary coming out, I think within the next couple of weeks, about Jerry Jones's time as Cowboys owner. And it's produced by like Jones's production company. It details a lot of the 90s Cowboys, and I think it got a lot of them involved in it, like Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman, what have you. And his theory is like, is he just kind of delaying this so that we talk about the Cowboys and talk about Jerry in the weeks leading up to the release of this documentary? And like, knowing how much Jerry Jones loves the spotlight and loves talking to the media, like, I could see there being legs to that rumor.
I'm just really annoyed with the Guardians right now. This has nothing to do with what you were talking about, but you've got like the real meat of the, like, Lindor just went down, struck out. The next, I guess, fingers crossed for them, out is going to have to be Juan Soto. And I wish that you wouldn't have brought this to my attention, because now, with zero investment in this game, this pitcher, this team whatsoever, if he gives up this no-hitter and it doesn't, you're 2 outs away, I'm going to be so upset for him. And I didn't care about this game.
Come on, man.
That, like, earlier today, I had no thoughts about this game whatsoever.
This would be the first no-hitter of the season, pitched by anybody.
How many do we get a year,
so.
would you say, Curtis?
Probably like 3 or 4 usually.
You know, they say they come in bunches.
So, George Kirby tonight, yeah, watch out.
You got Soto at the plate right now? Is that Soto?
Soto at the... Oh, catch it.
That thing is gone.
It's over.
Inside the park. It's a double?
Double.
Yeah. No, we didn't even get 2 out of that.
It's
gone.
Oh, it's a home run.
Oh, man, the worst way to
it's Juan Soto.
Honestly.
Devastating.
See, that's what I was saying. I'm upset. I'm upset that I'm upset. I know that he just lost a no-hitter and he's pitched beautifully today, but I'm upset now.
Lost the shutout, too. Man.
Lost the shutty. Folks looking at the film.
We hate you, Juan Soto.
I think that was like his 120th pitch, too, of the day.
My dude's been grinding.
Oh, his teammates just feeling awful for him. You had 2 more outs.
We jinxed it.
And you blew it.
I didn't jinx anything.
That was you, Stacy.
I didn't jinx anything. I have no sway over this game. I have no power here. I feel horrible for this guy. Curtis, what's the actual?
Headline 2, Justin Hollander says Victor Robles' recovery is way ahead of schedule, and he'll start a rehab assignment likely next week. What's the real headline?
Got to be honest, glad to see they're not calling Robles' return a trade deadline acquisition.
They definitely would have called it that if nothing would have went down, or if minor moves would have been made. Most importantly, you got more options, right? I think Robles is down for an assignment. He needs, 40 or 50 at-bats is what I read he's going to get. Good for him, man. You got options over there in right field, but Canzone's been playing some decent ball. I want to see how they rotate him in, but the more the better. I like what we're doing here.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 3. Shadur Sanders was named the starter for the Browns preseason opener, while Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, and Dylan Gabriel sit out. Cleveland also signing quarterback Tyler Huntley yesterday to add depth. What's the real headline?
They say when you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one. So what about when you have 5 quarterbacks?
First time around, I went in on the Browns, not realizing that Kenny Pickett and Gabriel are banged up. So, yeah, I guess this makes sense. But, man, that room is crowded. Have you ever been, at least with the Seahawks at VMAC, the quarterback room is small. Like, you can only fit, comfortably 7 guys in there. So it's getting tight. I don't know what the Cleveland Browns situation looks like with their facility, but either way, there's a lot of quarterbacks in that room. Joe Flacco is the veteran, so he's probably sitting in the front, leading the charge and whatnot. But this is good for Shadur, man. Get as many snaps as you can. According to camp stats, he's been the most accurate quarterback out there, but you take that for what it is. I'm just happy to see him go out there and compete. I want to see, how he does. He was the most accurate quarterback in college football history last year. Let's see if it continues.
I remember my first year as a reporter. Technically, my first year was 2014. My first year covering in person, where I was actually going to the locker room and interviewing players, was in 2015. Russell Wilson, obviously your starter. And I think that year, maybe the year after, Austin Davis was your backup. And I don't remember if he was the immediate backup or if he was like a third guy that was on practice squad. But all you need to know is he's with the team. And I was standing with NASA in the locker room. And this is like near the end of the season. So there's a bunch of people around Wilson interviewing him at the end of the year. And I'm standing next to NASA and this other PR guy. And I'm just talking to them. We're just standing back. I'm like, I'm not even going to get close. And then the other PR guy goes, I know, I'm waiting to get to my locker. And then I'm like, oh my God. It's not a PR guy. It's Austin Davis. He just blend, like, I had no idea. All I mean to say with this entire story is that the Seahawks have always only carried 2. It has been a very, very teeny tiny room. They've not carried 3. They are going to do it presumably this year. So yeah, it's like the Seahawks have been especially focused there. And I can't imagine 5 people.
Too many.
It's way too many. I feel horrible for him.
Don't. For the pitcher.
For the pitcher.
Oh, okay.
No, not for the quarterback.
For the quarterbacks. They're fine. Everyone there is going to play another
getting
year.
Getting paid a lot
to.
of money. Big news out of Vikings camp coming your way next.
Blue 88 every day at 7:45 on Brock and Salk.
What are you hearing with these young Seahawks?
Yeah, the words I continue to hear, betting on themselves. They're betting on themselves because these college kids are coming into the league with millions, But if you're Kobe Bryant, are you going to say, hey, man, on this defense, I'm going to be a great player. And I'm going to go to the market and I'm going to have 31 other teams bidding for me rather than taking it now.
Blue 88 on Seattle Sports. Get the podcast on the Seattle Sports app.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You gotta love baseball season. But when it comes to your windows, you don't want any curveballs. Rick Riz here, reminding you to trust your clubhouse with locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Experience the difference with high-quality products, expert installation, and top-notch customer service. It's always a home run with Pella. Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Just go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Did you know in Washington State, you can see a physical therapist without a referral from your doctor? That's right. Thanks to Direct Access, you can skip the wait and get the care you need right away. Shannon O'Kelly, how has Direct Access changed the game?
Direct Access for us, Brock, is a game changer. Why? Is because there is so much research and data out there that says if you get in early when you have a musculoskeletal problem or an injury, the earlier you get in and we can start care, the better outcomes and the decreased downstream cost, okay? So it's so important. Our providers are all doctors of physical therapy. They're all trained to identify situations and problems. They've got the skill, they've got the talent, they've got the knowledge. If you get in and start therapy early, we're going to get you back to activity, pain-free, and moving and having fun.
Fast, easy, effective. Direct Access is your path to better movement, starting with a single step. Visit irgpt.com to schedule your appointment today. irgpt.com.
The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
Need a new roof but not in the budget? A new roof doesn't have to break the bank. Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. Right now, State Roofing and Exteriors is offering 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's 2 years with no payments while getting the protection your home deserves. But this offer won't last forever. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to get on our summer schedule now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Summer is here and Washington Energy's BOGO 40% off sale is on now. Update and enhance your home with beautiful new windows and doors expertly installed by Washington Energy Services. Save today with one of our best deals of the year. Buy one energy efficient window, get the second at 40% off. And BOGO 40% off all entry, patio, and interior doors right now. From traditional to modern home updates and with over 65 years of award-winning installations, Washington Energy is the clear choice. Call today for a free estimate.
The ballpark is rocking like 2001. Let us clear up your allergies so you can enjoy more of each game. Hey, it's Dr. Ryan Stern of the Stern Sinus Center. Let us fix your ear, nose, and throat problems. Let's make your congestion, sinusitis, snoring, and allergies a non-issue. We can diagnose and treat everything from allergy testing and treatments to modern nasal breathing procedures to advanced balloon sinuplasty. Come and see us in Federal Way in Auburn or at sternsinus.com. That's sternsinus.com.
Every jersey tells a story.
So many people dressed in Seahawks blue.
From unforgettable touchdowns.
Touchdown! Seahawks! Jackson Smith-Njigba, Johnny on the spot.
To game-changing hits.
He gets hit again. Leonard Williams drags him down.
To memorable catches.
Jordan drops back to pass in the end zone to Larkin. Touchdown Seahawks!
History lives in every thread. Shop official Seahawks jerseys in-store at Lumen Field, The Landing in Renton, or online at Seahawks.com/ProShop.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
News coming out of Vikings camp yesterday. Vikings wide receiver Jordan Addison has been suspended for the team's first 3 games of the 2025 season. This news was actually announced yesterday, but it's after our show, so we're kind of diving into it now. This is for a violation of the league's substance abuse policy. Addison was charged with driving under the influence of alcohol in July of 2024. He pled that down to a lesser misdemeanor, but obviously is still subject to discipline from the NFL. So he's going to go without pay for the first 3 games of the season, not eligible for the first 3 games of the season. He can still participate in camp, be around the facility, but obviously can't come back until that Week 4 game against the Steelers. What does this mean for J.J. McCarthy entering his first season as the Vikings starter?
One less option, one less reason to feel like he's going to be the guy. Sounds like Jalen Naylor out of Michigan State, 2022 6th-round pick, 28 receptions, 414 yards, and 6 touchdowns last year. Will be the guy. It's going to make things tougher for him, but this offense, I mean, you need a Jordan Addison out there, but you have Justin Jefferson, you got Hawkinson as well at the tight end spot. They should be able to survive, I would think, through the first 3 weeks of the season without Addison. I think the more important thing is he's gotten into some trouble. In July 17th, he was asleep at the wheel. 2024, driving under the influence. 2023, driving 140 on a freeway in Minnesota. It's not a great start to his career for Addison when you talk about off-the-field stuff. On the field, he's been pretty good. But who they got? They got the Bears, Atlanta, and Cincinnati in their first 3 weeks. The Bears, revamped Bears, look pretty good. Atlanta with Michael Penix and Bijan Robinson and London. What's his first name? Drake London over there at the receiver spot. And then you have Cincinnati. It's going to be a challenging 3 games to start J.J. McCarthy's career. But Addison just has to get right off the field. I don't know who you need to talk to, who's your mentor, but let's calm down and focus on some ball.
George Kittle says the NFL has banned the use of smelling salts and ammonia packets.
I honestly just came up here to air a grievance. Our team got a memo today that smelling salts and ammonia packets were made illegal in the NFL.
Wow.
And I've been distraught all day.
Okay. Illegal? He even said he's not practicing anymore.
I considered retirement.
Yeah, so they got to go ahead and bring that back for George Kittle.
Yeah, so we got to figure out a middle ground here, guys. Somebody help me out. Somebody come up with a good idea. Fred, it's on you.
Airing of grievances.
Yeah, that's all I had to get out there.
Why is the league banning them? Because it says that the products are not safe and are used to mask concussions.
Yeah, that was the main thing. I was against it until I read the article and realized that it's for the player's own good. Because a lot of guys get concussions, you do the smelling thing, and then boom, you're back up ready to go. It's a safety thing. It's always been a part of football since I've been playing. I never used it. I tried it once or twice. It wasn't for me. I started watering once you do it. But it does get you going. And a guy like George Kittle, I could see using that. He said every series he would use it to get himself
That's
hyped up and going.
crazy.
So I could see why he's going to miss it, but it's for the players' own good.
Between us three who did not play professional football, Bone, between Matt, me, and Stacy,
in case anyone needed to know.
If all three of us took a smelling salt, do you think all three of us would be able to not throw up?
Great question.
Probably not. Probably not.
Who would throw up first in order of the three of us?
Stacy.
No, why are you guys? It's Bump's question to answer. Why don't you let Bump answer?
We're going Stacy.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to go Curtis. Something about Matt says he might have a tolerance for weird stuff like that.
What?
Oh,
no,
you are
absolutely
wrong.
no. Absolutely not. Matt's throwing up first.
I'm throwing up before it even gets to my nose.
Just the thought of it
is going to make me throw up.
So is it likely to make you throw up? Have you guys? I know you've smelled them before.
I've never used them, but I've seen YouTube videos of people using them, and they pretty much barf.
you gotta. There's a technique. You can't just go all in and
you gotta
wave it.
right?
You gotta wave it and kind of catch
What's
it.
it smell like?
Like death. It is not. I can't even describe it. It's not even a smell. It's just a feel and a shock to the body.
I don't like that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's making me sick.
Yeah.
We're doing it on air one of these days.
I already got in trouble for the Ouija board.
This is different.
Now
This
I'm
is
going to introduce
self-harm.
smelling salts on air. We're going to get in trouble. Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel pulled a Scott Service and got involved in a scuffle between his team and the Titans at their joint practice. Drake May spoke on his head coach having his guys back.
No, I think, like I said, that's what we're trying to build, I think. And it starts with the coach, starts with the head coach, the intensity, bringing it every day, taking no crap, we're out there on the field. But also it comes at a time where with our guys offensively, and getting over there and getting some tussles and kind of having some penalties and extra after the whistle can get us in trouble. But for mentality, I like it. I think that's what you want. I mean, I almost got in there, but I think maybe another day, maybe. So we'll see.
Shut your butt up. You ain't getting there. That's Drake May.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks don't ever get in that kind of stuff. And they're not expected to. You just sit aside and make sure you don't get banged up. But good on Vrabel. It doesn't surprise me Vrabel getting there. He's a linebacker. He has that intensity about him. It's his former squad. My question is, did my guy Efton Chisholm out of Eastern Washington and Monroe High School get in there? I got to text him and be like, boy, you better stay out of that stuff.
Of all the quarterbacks you've ever played with, who's most likely to get involved in a fight when things are fisticuffs, like a whole group's going in on it?
Most likely. I would probably say none.
Yeah, but if you
Quarterbacks
had to
don't do that.
choose, who's
Hasselbeck?
most likely to be like, all right, you know
Hasselbeck
what,
is
I'm
not
getting
getting
in.
involved in that.
You've told stories about how Charlie Fry is kind of a
Actually,
rough around
that's
the
who it
edges.
is.
Yeah.
Charlie Fry. He have chew in his lip. Charlie Fry be like, all right, now he also walk around. All right, Hoss, let's go, Hoss. I'm like, what is Hoss? I have to get some country education when it came to that. But yeah, that's the one, Curtis. You're right, Charlie Fry.
Colts head coach Shane Steichen told reporters about his plan at quarterback for Indy's preseason opener.
Anthony will start on Thursday. The plan is for him to play about a quarter and a half, and then give Daniel about a half a quarter. In a perfect world, that's how I want it to play out. And then the following week against Green Bay, Daniel will start, give about a quarter and a half, and then Anthony will play about a half quarter.
This remains one of the more interesting quarterback battles to me, only because it very is up for grabs for Jones if he does end up taking it.
It's a real battle over there, man. You got Riley Leonard, the quarterback out of, where was he at? Notre Dame. Started at Duke, went to Notre Dame. He's number 3. You have Jason Bean, who's the 4th quarterback out of Kansas. But yeah, it's a 2-man race, 2-horse race. And honestly, I mean, I said it before, and we got into this, that I think Daniel Jones is going to win that because despite what you think about him, didn't have great success with the New York Giants, did take him to a playoff, has been in the league for a while, knows the process. My money's on Danny Dimes.
Someone said smelling salts have ammonia. They're kind of along the lines of cat pee in terms of smell.
Really?
Yikes.
I don't like that.
I didn't smell anything. I just felt.
The thing is, I'd be too afraid to do it. I'd throw up before I smelled them because I get nauseous when I'm nervous.
So you're always nauseous.
Trevor Lawrence is excited for the preseason, and a big reason for that is, of course, the newest weapon, Travis Hunter.
Really excited. I mean, if Friday was a glimpse of it, I'm pretty, or we should all be excited to see him running around out there, wherever it's at on offense, defense, hopefully more offense. Throw one in there for us there. But just the way he plays, the energy he plays with, even just
little things like interacting with the fans and just the juice he brings into the stadium, like that stuff does mean something, you know, and not everyone necessarily has that personality, but he has something about him that's just, I don't know, it's just special. The way the energy he brings and the energy he plays with and the joy and all that stuff, the way he runs around, like it's fun to watch and it's fun to play with a guy like that. And I think he's starting to play a lot faster now that he knows the system and can play free.
Now, Bump, I think we're all excited to see Travis Hunter, not just what he's going to look like in the preseason or in the regular season, but when he's going to be playing on both sides in a game. Davante Adams was on the Pivot podcast. He was asked about Hunter and his plan to play full-time on both sides of the ball, and he says he just doesn't know if that's possible. Quote, I don't know if it's possible to do that for real at a high level.
No, not down after down after down. I mean, Deion Sanders didn't even play both sides of the football consistently. It was only packages, especially in the return game as well. No, I think you should see him on both sides of the football, allow him to display his talents, but it is tough in that league. This is not the Pac-2 or the Big Ten. These are the best 15 to 600 football players in the game. My question is Trevor Lawrence going to live up to the hype? I mean, he's getting paid right now.
Yeah.
And he does need some help. It's not all on him. So if I were Trevor Lawrence, just like he did right there, I'd lobby for Travis Hunter to be on offense most of the time.
Oh, any reaction to Keenan Allen reuniting with the Chargers on a one-year deal? That happened yesterday after our show as well.
Good for him. Is he the greatest receiver in Charger history? I think you have Lance Allworth over there. Winslow at the quarterback. I mean, tight end spot. I got to look that up because consistent. He's been in the game 14 years, something like that. Good for Keenan Allen.
Coming up at 1, who's going to be under the biggest microscope this preseason? Before we get to that, what we're actually watching for in the preseason game 1. Don't go anywhere.
Seahawks training camp is underway.
That is music to the ears.
And nobody gives you more insider access than the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Coach McDonald sitting down with us right now. This thing on and ready for you.
Watch how the Seahawks roster comes together.
Seattle Sports training camp coverage is presented by the Landing in Renton.
Seahawks training camp on Seattle Sports on 710, the Seattle Sports app, and the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Contractors and heavy equipment operators, get ready. The James G. Murphy Auction Company presents one of the biggest heavy equipment auctions of the summer. On the auction block, we've got 13 excavators, including a 2018 Komatsu PC 238 USLC-11, a 2015 Komatsu PC 138, and a CAT 308 mini excavator. Also up for auction, a 2020 Komatsu WA 270-8 wheel loader, a 2017 John Deere 317G skid steer, 2 backhoes, and 3 rollers. Looking for trucks? Choose from over 100 options, including a 2017 Kenworth T880 with a wet kit and 4 Vector trucks. And if you're in need of contractor's equipment, we've got a massive assortment for you to choose from. Bidding starts 10 a.m. Thursday the 7th and starts closing at 10 a.m. August 14th. And don't miss your chance to preview all items August 12th through the 13th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at our Marysville location. For more information, visit murphyauction.com. That's murphyauction.com.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
Rare and luxurious 100 years of exceptional automobiles is currently on display at LeMay, America's Car Museum. Feel the thrill of racing simulators. It's excitement for all, and out-of-town visitors will love it. Visit americascarmuseum.org.
beat rising costs at Lake Washington Windows and Doors. For a limited time, get a 20% inflation discount and enjoy easy 18-month free financing with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest. Details at lakewashingtonwindows.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
The home of the Mariners.
Left off to center. It is on its way. Julio, 2-run home run.
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Are you frustrated with those trendy weight loss shots and not getting the long-term results you really want? This is Dr. Ryan Coogan with Eastside Weight Loss, and whether you've hit a plateau, can't handle the side effects, or watch the pounds creep back after stopping, there's a better way. Our program has helped over 4,000 people lose up to 10 to 20% of their body weight in just 8 weeks without expensive injections or uncomfortable side effects. Our doctor-developed program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast. Ready for real lasting results? Visit eastsideweightlossclinic.com now to schedule your free consultation.
Did he just say Eastside Weight Loss Clinic is half the cost and works twice as fast as weight loss injections? Well, if that's not reason enough, you don't risk the scary side effects or gaining the weight back as soon as you stop. Eastside Weight Loss Clinic is natural, and it works.
Many clients lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two, and you can do our program remotely from anywhere you live. Schedule your free consultation at eastsideweightlossclinic.com. That's eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health, it's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
How do you watch a preseason game? We're going to talk about what we're looking for on Thursday. Tomorrow, ahead of the actual preseason game, we got a shortened show, so we're going to preview the Mariners series finale against the White Sox. We're going to be out at the park, and then we'll talk a little bit about the preseason game, but really diving into it with our next two segments. Coming up at 1, who's going to be under the biggest microscope this preseason? Right now, specifically talking about Thursday's game, what we're watching for, who we're watching for, and kind of maybe taking us inside bump the plan of a preseason game, the goal of a preseason game.
The goal is to see who can handle the pressure. I know people think of a preseason game, and like, what are you talking about, Bum? It's just a scrimmage. It's a glorified scrimmage. Yeah, for some people, but for other people, it's an opportunity to show that you can operate under a stressful situation. Believe me. When I was out there for preseason games, it is stressful. It's a real game for me. A guy like Sam Darnold, JSN, Cooper Kupp, A.J. Barner, Charles Cross. No, for them, it's an opportunity to stand on the sideline with no pads on and root your teammates on because you know you're getting ready for something bigger than this. But for a lot of people, this is my opportunity. Can you handle the stress? Can you go out there and execute the game plan? And it's not really a game plan. You're just running the plays that have already been installed. It's not like they're devising a scheme to beat the Raiders. So how should you watch it? One, you look at all the rookies that have been acquired, and once they get in the game, evaluate their play. Jalen Milroe, is he getting the team out the huddle with time to get to the line of scrimmage and make checks if necessary, or to run your motions and go through your process there? If you're looking at a Zabel, is he at the guard spot? Is he double teaming and reaching to the backer spots when it comes to that wide zone? in pass pro. It's hard for people to kind of break down pass pro because I don't think a lot of people know what they're looking at. It's almost like it's a numbers game, right? You go to the center to the right? If the center is covered up, obviously he's going to block that guy. Most likely you're in an Okie or a bear front. An Okie is when you have a guy over the center, and then the tackles are covered up by those guys, and then you have linebackers over the guard spot. So blocking an Okie theoretically is a bit more simple because you're man on man at the guard spots to the tackles, and then the center spots to the tackles, and then the guards are looking at the backers there. Oh, that's over them, and then the running back has whatever's extra to the side that he's on. Quarterback can shift them up. I think it's more complicated when you get into those 4-3 over or under fronts. That's where you have to count the guys, right? There's 3 guys to the right. The center guard and the tackle are going to take those guys to the right, 2 guys to the left. The guard and the tackle take those 2, and then the backer has the extra guy to the left, unless there's some type of stunt. It sounds complicated, but once you know what you're looking at, I think you're starting to pick it up. So if you're trying to evaluate offensive line and who they're blocking, just count the numbers and anticipate those guys to that side are blocking those dudes. So essentially, that's what I'm looking at for Gray's Able. For the receivers, it's just timing, getting off the block, understanding where the gaps are in the zone.
I think it's also looking for chemistry and getting some of that work in. Again, we've already heard that the starters won't be playing, so that means not seeing, unfortunately, Cooper Kupp. But you do want to be able to see, you mentioned Horton earlier. He's gotten a lot of work in with Milroe, who we're probably going to see a ton of, with Drew, who we're going to see a ton of, right? So it's like these are guys that have some of that chemistry developed. Bobo's fighting for a spot on this roster. I don't think it's a sure thing that he's going to be on it. It feels like one. Like when I've been kind of coming up with the roster projection in my mind, Bobo is included there, but it's a crowded room. So this is a hugely important game for a lot of fan favorites too. I should say a series of games, 3 games here.
Yeah, right now, I'm going off of ESPN's depth chart. ESPN has Torrey Horton over MVS, by the way. So if we're going off of just this depth chart, there's 3-6-9 receivers. 3-6-9. Damn, fine. Anyway, millennials, you get me. There's 9 receivers that are fighting for. They're probably going to carry 5, maybe 6 of those guys. So 4 are going to be cut unless they just excel when it comes to special teams. The guys who I think are on the bubble and closer to making the team rather than not making the team, there's some names that I feel like are just have a tough time making it, are going to be Derek Young, Jake Bobo, and it's a kind of a tie between Sims and Ricky White III. Cody White had himself a great preseason last year. He went up and down as far as practice squad and game time type stuff. He helped out on special teams a lot. That's how he snuck on the team. So you're looking at who's going to make the bigger plays. And sometimes the big play can be deceiving. I mean, when I was 2008 preseason, I had to be like top 5 when it came to yards in the preseason. I barely made the practice squad. So, like, numbers can fool you. I don't know why I barely made it, but you know what? Their evaluation, they decided to pick somebody else over me because maybe they brought something to the table that I didn't. So that's one place to start, is looking at the numbers at the end of the game. But now you look at, are they blocking in the run game? Because blocking as a receiver is going to be huge this year because you know Kubiak wants to run the rock. It's hard for you to understand exactly what the route concepts are, but does it feel like the spacing is fine? If you ever see 2 receivers within 2 yards of each other, 5 to 10 yards down the field, somebody is wrong. I've never seen a concept where guys are close like that. So look for that spacing, and then when the ball's thrown to them, like, are they making the play?
Sometimes I find myself almost trying to sell the idea of a preseason game to fans and be like, no, really, it really matters. And then I realize, you know what, this is actually really more important to coaches. This is way more important to players. And yeah, as a fan, you might be wanting to see what Sam Darnold and Cooper Kupp and your starting offensive line look like out there. And you might want to see, all of your defensive starters. You're just not going to see them this time around. So I get that that's frustrating. But I feel like it's maybe a waste of my time to sit here and sell you guys on this is why it's the best game ever. It is not a waste of our time to emphasize how important continued development is for a coaching staff with a lot of new faces.
Yeah, it's and I like you point out that development of the coaching staff too, because this is an opportunity for some of these guys on the staff to shine. You know, typically during preseason games, assistants are given a bit more responsibility because the games mean absolutely nothing. I just want to see what you see, and I want to know if you can operate under pressure and under this stressful type of situation. So you might have AD call a series or two. You might have Kubiak kind of lean on someone else, his quarterback coach or his offensive line coach or the assistant to those guys to see what they know and how they operate in these situations. But then it's also a time for the coaches who are being relied upon to show Mike McDonald that they have a process that works and they can process information and make the proper adjustments, though neither team is scheming for each other. There's always adjustments to be made.
You mentioned that there was a storyline that you really loved from the NFL's Hall of Fame game. Is there a storyline or a player for this game in particular, especially if it's not going to be one of the ones that you have coming up in the under a microscope, where you're like, I really love this battle, or I really love, I feel for guys trying to push for a spot or anything like that?
Well, obviously, me being a receiver, I'm going to look at the receiver spot.
Right.
But outside of that, I mean, Griffin has been in Florida dealing with family business. So that gives opportunity. What is Job going to look like in these situations? You got a Waxter out of Villanova. What is he going to do in these situations? Callaghan, who was he was with the team earlier, but then got cut, and now he's here. This is the cornerback spot. Who's going to be that third and fourth cornerback over there? And then as far as the linebackers go, Dave Wyman loves him some O'Connell. So Wyman loves O'Connell. I'm going to take a good look at O'Connell and see what he brings to the table as well. These are fun games for me, man. I know a lot of people after the first quarter are kind of going to tune out. You can tune out if you want to. I suggest you to lock it in. I'll have some notes for you Friday for sure.
And these are some of the best stories too. All right, we're going to stick with it here. Who will be under the biggest microscope this preseason? If you've got your answer, text it in 866-979-3776. Coming your way next.
He's the best catcher in baseball.
Pitch to Cal, swing and drive.
And he's on Seattle Sports, Thursday afternoons all season long. It's the Honey Bucket Cal Raleigh Show.
Presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians.
More history for Cal Raleigh.
I love being here, and I love these fans in the city.
Catch every episode of the Honey Bucket Cal Raleigh Show, presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians, on the Seattle Sports YouTube page, the Seattle Sports app, and seattlesports.com.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and, of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Dave Wyman here, and since I stopped playing football, we've been fortunate to live in the same house for over 20 years. That type of longevity is a good thing, except 20 years in the same house means a lot of things start to break. Most recently, it's our windows. Virtually every seal has broken, and that's why I reached out to Harley Exteriors. Chris and Ray came out to the house, and I could instantly tell we'd get along great, and I'd want to do business with them. They're local, they're huge fans of our teams, and big listeners to the station. Better yet, they have the best product. Olympic Series windows offered exclusively through Harley Exteriors are manufactured right here in Washington and designed for our Pacific Northwest homes and climate. That means cooler in the summer, warmer in the winter. Look up Harley Exteriors for your window replacement. In August, Harley Exteriors is offering 50% off basic installation, no payments for 1 year, and an additional $200 off your project. Call 833-HARLEY or go to harleyexteriors.com.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
Hey friends, Stacy here. Wayscar Ford Isuzu in Auburn is celebrating its 103rd year anniversary, and their biggest sales event of the year is going on right now. Take advantage of their great pricing on new Fords, Isuzus, and commercial vehicles. Check them out for yourself at wayscarford.com.
Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. The best place to watch all your favorite sports. Featuring wall-to-wall viewing screens, 6 windows, and 30 kiosks. Be there at emeraldqueen.com. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that. And third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Roman Anthony and the Red Sox are finalizing an 8-year, $130 million contract extension that could reach up to $230 million per ESPN's Jeff Passan. That deal includes a club option that'll keep Anthony in Boston through 2034. The 21-year-old rookie outfielder was the #1 prospect in baseball when he was called up back in June. The Mariners are taking on the White Sox for Game 2 today. It's a 6:40 p.m. first pitch. George Kirby on the mound, 5:30 p.m. pregame show right here on Seattle Sports.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now.
Our coverage of Seahawks training camps brought to you by The Landing in Renton. Seahawks about to go from camp to Lumen Field for Game 1 of the preseason. Pete Carroll and the Raiders heading to town. We're not expected to see any Seahawks starters here. Mike McDonald's already made that clear, but there are plenty of players we're going to see, not just in this game, but over the next 2 other games after this one in the preseason. Our question here, which player or players are under the biggest microscope in the preseason? You can join this conversation on the text line, 866-979-3776. Bump, for you, who will be under the biggest microscope this preseason?
The whole preseason. You got to look at the guys who were drafted early. Gray Zabel, he's going to be in the mix. Guy Nick Mawari will be there too. Arroyo as well, because those are the guys that will be dependent on, minus Milrow, highly. You know that Gray Zabel is going to get the start at offensive line, and Arroyo is going to contribute to this tight end room, a tight end room that has had some shuffling going on, right? You had Farrell Brown last year. You had Noah Fant as well. Year before that, you had Colby Parkinson, who was with different teams now. There hasn't been just a room to kind of hold it down and really produce at a high level. Granted, Noah Fant was 41 catches away from being the all-time receptions leader with the
couldn't touch him though.
With the Seahawks.
Greatest Seahawks tight end ever, Jimmy Graham was.
But it was a bit deceptive his career here because there wasn't really any like big plays or a couple run after the catches that he had. But the tight end room hasn't really been that explosive. So that's what I think Arroyo brings to the table. But it's Zabel. I mean, because for years we've been talking about this offensive line, and for the first time in a while, you feel like your tackles are going to be healthy, ready to go. I think Olu's going to handle one spot at the center spot. You got Zabel at the guard, and then you got to figure out who the other guard is going to be. We've seen a rotation of guys in there. But, yeah, it's all about that offensive line. Starts with Gray Zabel.
I think Zabel's under a microscope, but he's your starter. And I think it's hard for me not to immediately go with people fighting for the team, people fighting for even like their depth on the team. And I'm starting with the wide receiver room. It's just hard not to immediately go there. Mike McDonald talked about, in particular, the battle between Torrey Horton and MVS.
Well, he knows he's in a battle. And I think he respects Torrey, what he's doing, and he's had a great attitude. He's had a tremendous attitude. He's a competitor at heart. I mean, he's had a great career, but there's also a lot of great competition too. So that's what you want from vets that you bring in. Hey, come on, bring it. Doesn't go your way initially the way exactly you want it. That's okay. You know, we're still halfway through. Let's rock and roll. Go start stacking some more plays, and it's a fun competition to watch.
Bump, I didn't think I'd be saying this a few months ago, but I think Marquez might be under a huge microscope this preseason. I just chalked it up to JSN, Cooper Kupp, and Marquez are on the roster. You have JSN as your number one guy. The other two is veterans brought in here. And MVS is your guy that can get down the field, and they're here, so then who are going to fill out the other spots? I didn't anticipate that I'd be talking about Marquez as being under a microscope in the preseason, but that's how deep this room is.
I think he is.
You think he's absolutely
but
making
I think
the squad?
he's going to be on the team. I think it's a matter of what are his contributions going to be at this point. Last year, last week, I described him differently. I'll get to it in Fort Allen territory. But I still think when it's all said and done, he's going to get the first crack at it. But we can't ignore what we've been seeing and hearing about Horton as well. It's about making plays. And Horton has an opportunity. He didn't do a lot during the training, not training, but like the off-season training type stuff because of his knee. I heard him say he ran a 4.41 at 70%, so he thinks he's faster than that, a 4.3 type of dude. He is exactly what MVS is. When you look at other receivers in this group, none of them resemble each other. JSN's his own, Cooper's his own, Bobo's his own, Derek Young his own. Those are the two that are more similar when it comes to what they bring to the table. So, yeah, I mean, MVS will be under a microscope, but he's not going to play a lot. We're not going to see him a lot during the preseason. So it's more about what Horton can do to apply pressure while MVS is just chilling. When they run out the tunnel for game one against the 49ers, I still expect MVS to get the start. Now, if MVS gets into some old habits, then you open up the door for Horton to apply some pressure.
Fair. Okay, who's going to be under the most pressure? Under the biggest microscope. You're watching them very closely. 866-979-3776. A couple responses from listeners. I'm going to start with this one. We're going to the quarterback room. Biggest player under the microscope for this preseason game, says Kevin and Callie, it's got to be Jalen Milroe.
Yeah. That's another one. He's going to be on this team. He can go out there and throw with his left hands, one eye open, and throw a pick and still be just fine. Not just fine in the sense that he doesn't have to improve, but he's going to be on this roster. He is a project. He's all about developing. He'll be under the biggest microscope because he's going to get most of the snaps at the quarterback spot. It's not like they're expecting him to go out and just be perfect out there, be dang near perfect and impress in that sense. It's more about, can he adjust from his mistakes? Can he run the offense efficiently? Can he get the football out of his hands? And if he goes out there and he doesn't look good this first game, guess what? He'll get another opportunity the following week and another one the following week. He's going to be on this roster as well. They understand who he is, and that's a guy that they don't expect to be the number two. We spoke to Drew Lock yesterday. That is the most locked-in number two quarterback I've ever met in my life. And all else fails, they'll go with Drew. But he'll get a lot of the snaps, so we'll get to evaluate him a bit more.
You mentioned this position group as part of your initial answer. but it's a popular response, is just basically whoever plays right guard. I would say maybe Christian Haynes is under a big microscope. Anthony Bradford, presumably getting that starting nod, kind of having the edge there. But if you look at the official depth chart for this team right now that was released a couple days ago, it is not very clear at guard. It's Anthony Bradford or Christian Haynes or Sundell. And that's very intentional. It is an open competition. But I think that for Haynes, this was the second pick by this club just a year ago. I know he's a third rounder, but the second pick, he's under a microscope for sure.
Yeah, and he's a guy who is versatile too. He's tried the center spot. He's tried the guard spot. And that's a gift for him because if he doesn't get the starting job, he'll be able to back up two positions, so he brings value to himself there. But the offensive line, and that's why I said Gray Zabel, we focused on him, but I like that comment. It is the offensive line because that's where you need the most development. I did mention Arroyo and what can he handle, but the offensive line has to make the offense go. And I think fans are tired of seeing just mediocre play there at times. There have been times where they look excellent, but it's about stacking those days, stacking those weeks, and allowing Kubiak to not be too concerned about it. You never look at a position and think we don't have to improve, but you don't want to look at a position and say, I don't know if we can do it. So that's the offensive line's goal during this preseason, though the guys you are going to see are going to be backups. They're not going to be guys relied upon other than Gray Zabel.
You know when there's a really, really popular TV show like Game of Thrones, when Game of Thrones was still coming out with new seasons, and they put out a teaser trailer, and maybe it's like 20 seconds long or something, and people will comb over the teaser trailer, and they'll come up with whole YouTube videos that are 20 minutes long, trying to break down every single thing they saw from just this very brief glimpse, because we're desperate to find out more about this upcoming season. I'm thinking about that with this next listener's response. They said, my biggest microscope is on something I just can't see in the preseason, which is the offense in total. I think that the way that you'll have people combing over little teaser trailers for exciting shows when we just are desperate to find out what's going to happen is probably how people are going to be looking at Clint's offense. And I like the analogy because I don't think we're going to see everything. We're going to probably make some, as fans in general, big assumptions about the offense based on very small bits of information. We're going to get a glimpse at what they want to do. And it's not even going to be with the starters, but it's going to be so hard as a fan base, as critics, as viewers, and as analysts, not to want to take something away from it because it's a brand new offense.
Yeah, it is. And I think you have to look at it with the way you look at toddlers and young human beings is you're trying to look at the potential of things. Like, I'm in the training business, Elite Training Academy, holla at me. And one of my favorite things to do, we just had a 7-on-7 tryout, and we have like third grade teams all the way up to seniors in high school. And I tend to spend more time evaluating the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth graders because you're looking for potential. Like I saw this one kid who came to our camp, and you can tell he's never backpedaled a day in his life. Never backpedaled a day in his life. Right? And I'm looking at him. And the coach is like, man, he's never played. But I'm looking at his movement. I'm looking at how he's receptive to the coaching. And then just a little improvement that I saw within that hour and a half of the trial. And I told my guys, that kid has potential. I know you see a fish out of water, a Bambi out there. But I see the potential. I see that we can work with that. And that's kind of how you got to look at preseason and offensive line. Is that, all right, well, they might not look good because these are the twos and the threes. But I do understand what Kubiak is trying to accomplish with these play calling, or with his play calling in these guys. So you take it for what it is. It's going to be ugly. I promise. I guarantee you that.
Someone said, I know this is not totally related to the topic, but a question about Zabel. I know Zabel's a starter, but does it make sense to not start a rookie? Not to start a rookie? I'm assuming in 206, you can clarify. I'm assuming they mean because he could get all the reps he could use in a preseason game. I'm assuming that's what they mean.
Yeah, no, you got to start him. I mean, doesn't make sense not to start them. In some situations, if you already have veterans who are established and ready to go, but you don't pick up a offensive lineman at 18 if you have that already. If you had a line that you felt good about, you're waiting until later. You're picking up maybe a defensive guy at 18 or maybe a skill guy that caught your eye. No, when you're picked at 18, man, Hey, strap up, get ready.
That's a delicate balance, too, between you are in big trouble if he's at all hurt or unable to go, because that's exactly who you're counting on to start there. And not only are you counting on him, and you don't want to be in that place all the time with a rookie, but you're also really, really hoping that he improves your offensive line.
Yeah.
And again, it's a lot to ask for a rookie, but that's just the situation that you find yourself in there at guard. But I agree with you, with the listener. You actually mentioned this the other day. This isn't a slight on North Dakota State, but there is not only a gap between jumping from college to the pros, but depending on where you played, the exposure that you had to other guys. Gray Zabel captured a lot of attention at the Senior Bowl and at some of those events against other schools because he was manhandling people, and it was really impressive. That being said, that's not what he's done. That's not the exposure he's been able and been fortunate enough to get over the course of his career. So he's shown all the potential in the world against that kind of opponent, but he has limited exposure. So, yeah, like I would love for Gray Zabel to get time in a preseason game going against, even if it's NFL backups, because they're going to be better than any player he's faced in college.
Pete just said he's going to play his starters. So if Pete puts the starters out there, at least for a series, you want Gray Zabel to fill that. I think he's going to be fine. I mean, there are guys. I mean, Khalil Mack came from University of Buffalo, and at one point was considered one of the best defensive players in the game. It's not that they can't do it. It's just that you just want to see them do it against NFL type of competition.
Let's see. Offensive guard. Obviously, offensive guard. Wide receivers, offense were the most popular answers. Someone said Jake Bobo. I think just once again looking at that wide receiver room, wondering who's going to be the name that we know that is not included.
I think and
Tariq Young, maybe it's a big preseason for him.
You know what I appreciate about Jake Bobo is that he's a realist, and in the NFL, that is the best place to operate from. He knows that he's fighting to make this roster. I asked him a question. I'm like, how is it going into your third year? You're a veteran now. How does it feel? He said it feels great. And then you asked him about talking to his coaches, like open door policy. And he goes, yes, even a guy like me who's fighting to make the squad.
I respected it.
He sits there and has conversations with the head and the offensive coordinator. It's important that you realize where you stand and not have this illusion of the NFL being all fluffy and everything's all good. The coaches will treat you with respect for the most part. Mike Tomlin said everyone will be treated fairly but not equally. And that is the realest stuff I ever heard when it comes to the NFL. So Jake Bobo is on the bubble, and he knows that. He knows that he has to prepare for this game like it is a real game, a week one game, because for him, it is a week one game. When I was in the NFL, I used to, before every practice, sit in my locker, headphones in, eye black on, cleats are spatted, get into a zone, because practice for me was my tryout. Every single practice, I knew I could not slip. You got to be real about who you are in this situation. So that makes that whiteout competition that much more intriguing, because you have a third-year guy like Jake Bobo understanding that he's got to go out there and perform.
Would you say Bobo is on the bubbo?
The bubbo?
Our coverage of Seahawks training camp is brought to you by The Landing in Renton. Let's get to four down territory.
This is four down territory.
It's like
going inside the game.
Yeah.
What former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver
First
Michael
down.
Bumpus.
Why do you think Pete will play his starters on Thursday?
Pete is like, listen, I'm new to this organization. A lot of y'all might be comfortable over here. I want to see what you can do. And it's not like he's going to keep his guys out there for 60. Man, they're going to keep him out there for like maybe 10 to 15 plays. Go ahead and get your preseason fix, and then go ahead and sit down. But I also think that a guy like Geno Smith pushed to be out there this first preseason. It's his first opportunity with the silver and black. He just wants to feel it out there. It's all about changing the culture, and the culture has not been the greatest with the Raiders for a very long time. Like the last time the culture was on point, Gruden was the guy, and years later we found out he was even doing some shady stuff via email over there. So this is Pete's opportunity just to kind of shake some things up and evaluate. That's what it comes down to, is just evaluation. I would assume I'm going to see Jamal Adams out there, like a 28, 29-year-old guy out there fighting to get on the roster. We watched a Hall of Fame game the other day, and a guy named Jefferson, 33 years of age, out there fighting to get on the roster. Those are the things that I love in preseason, and I think that Pete wants to bring that compete mantra back or to the Las Vegas Raiders. That's why he's going to put the starters out there, even though there are some guys he knows, everyone knows, guaranteed to make it. Brock Bowers, oh my gosh, he's not fighting to make this team.
Nope.
He's good to go.
Bowers is not on the bubbo.
He's not on the
Stop.
bubbo.
Brock Bowers. Second down. What drafted rookie should get the most playing time tomorrow?
Well, by default, it's going to be Jalen Milroe
Right.
because they're going to keep the quarterbacks out there the longest, or the number 3 quarterback out there. But I'm looking at Arroyo. And the reason why I say Arroyo is because when we spoke to Kubiak, he reminded everyone that he thinks tight ends are one of the smartest ball players out there. Why? Because they're attached to the line of scrimmage and responsible for pass pro. You got to listen to the checks from the offensive lineman. Slide them into the slot. You got to be good in small spaces, work with outside backers, safeties, and nickels. Then you go outside. You got to be able to work with these corners and these safeties. And then with all that going down, the motions and all that stuff, the shifts are going to be a lot. When you're in a huddle, as a receiver, I'm listening for my part of the sentence. It can be trip stripe, jet 3 lion, red, X logo. All I heard was red. Red speaks to me. Bam. When you're listening, when you're a tight end, you got to listen to all of that. Like, all right, what's the protection? Where am I lined up? Where's the running back? So I know where he's going to protect and where I need to be. And then you have the alert or the check where you check into a different play. You can it, or that's another phrase they use, if you want to get into something else. So, yeah, tight ends got to be versatile. And with this offense, tight ends are asked to do a lot. And he's got to be locked in. So I expect to see Arroyo out there, not for the whole game, maybe 20 to 25 plays, just so they can get a good idea of what he can do.
Third down. How will the offense look like with, speaking of, Jalen Milroe under center?
Oh, with Milroe, people assume that he's going to be treated as an athlete who can just throw. And then back in the day when they were experimenting with these type of quarterbacks, it was almost like the offense would look completely different, and they had a totally different offense for that guy. Those days are gone. Jalen Milroe is a quarterback. The offense is going to look similar. If there's going to be any differences in the offense when Milroe's in, you might see a quarterback run or two. And when he gets outside the pocket, instead of forcing it down the field or throwing it out of bounds, he just might run the football. But for the most part, I think it'll look the same because it's important for Jalen Milroe to show Kubiak that he can run his offense, at least up to the point of expectations. I would assume that the expectations for Sam is different for Drew, is different from Milroe. Drew, being the guy that he is, 7th year in the league, is probably so far ahead and can run this offense beautifully if he needed to. But the execution expectation might be different. With Sam Darnold, he's expected to know it, to execute it. You're the guy, $37 million a year, get it done. With Milroe, I'm sure they understand that he is a project, 2 to 3 years until he gets to where he needs to be. So just being able to handle exactly what they're giving him, because they're not going to give him what they think he can't handle. Their job is to set him up for success. So it's going to look different. The package, when the play is called, might be smaller. Only difference is he will get after it if he needs to when it comes to his feet.
Fourth down. What take did you have that might not be true midway through the season?
We kind of already talked about this, the battle between MVS and Horton. I describe MVS as that sniper, the guy that is going to be felt, not really seen. He's going to make some big plays. The more we get into training camp, the more we talk to people who are watching this team and following this team, we see that it's a true competition between him and Horton. I will second it. I still think that MVS is going to be the guy. But we get into week 3, 4, 5, who knows? Horton might be that guy. The thing that hurts MVS is his reputation, and he has a reputation of dropping some crucial footballs when thrown to him. He's hovering around 47 to 50% when it comes to catch percentage. The great ones are around 70% to 80% when it comes to catch percentages. Doesn't get a whole lot of targets. The most targets he got was in 2022 with 81, but he's got to make the most of his opportunities. Again, he's going to be the big play type of dude. Averaged 20.9 receptions in 2010, averaged 21.6 receptions in 2024 with only about 40-something targets. But, yeah, that competition is real.
In your memory, who had, like, from your gut, the best catch percentage of wide receivers that you've watched?
Chris Carter or Larry Fitzgerald?
Okay, I want to see if this is right. Immediate Google search. I want to find an actual, a much better one here. has Michael Thomas
All right.
with the highest career catch percentage.
Where was he at?
76.
76?
Amon-Ra St. Brown has 75. But I want to find, there has to be, I guess in my mind it should have been a little higher than that. I also, I don't know that I would have had Michael Thomas, no disrespect to Michael Thomas, who's incredibly talented and had an insane year with the Saints.
Well,
but I don't know that I would have thought him immediately.
He was a possession type of guy.
Yeah.
Possession.
I think I would have assumed it would be, if you're not choosing one of the greats, I would have assumed like, oh, it's going to be a guy that's just really reliable. Watch it be like Mike Evans, or you know what I mean? Like I thought like, oh, surely it's going to be a dude who is just, maybe he can't always be a total number one target because then you're going to have more chances for drops, but a guy that just delivers every single year.
I mean, Michael Thomas had the all-time receptions record for a little bit. I don't know if he still has it, but yeah, he got paid and then fell off too. He got paid.
Let's see what's on tonight.
What's on tonight with Bump and Stacy, brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot. Now, here's what's on tonight.
The Mariners are on tonight. They go for a series win against the White Sox. Game 2. Pregame starts at 5:30 p.m. First pitch is at 6:40 p.m. George Kirby on the mound. It's all coming your way on Seattle Sports. Don't go anywhere.
Wyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
I was always a guy that, like, if I could get an interception, man.
How many did you have in your career?
3.
How many should you have had? If you, as you put it, if you didn't have frying pan hands.
Yeah, I would say probably double that. When I was in high school, I played in a state championship game. I had 2 interceptions in one game, and I was like, that was my favorite game. I just loved that.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Start having fun. Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
When you own a business, it feels like everything's on you. Orders, deliveries, employees, on you. That's why Comcast Business is giving you a year of mobile on us with your internet service. Really? Yep. We'll cover your first line of mobile for 1 year. So calling customers, getting directions, texting Janine and shipping, on us. The broken coffee maker? That one's still on you, which means you'll save hundreds for your business and get the fastest mobile service with 5G cellular and Wi-Fi hotspots on us. But hurry, this deal won't last long. Get a mobile plan and free up the budget to maybe, I don't know, fix that coffee maker? Get mobile on us for 1 year, you guessed it, on us. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 9/22/25. Restrictions apply. New mobile customers only with internet standard service or above. Limited to value of 1 unlimited interline apply via 12 monthly internet bill credits. 1 discount per account. Fastest mobile based on mobile Wi-Fi and cellular data in service areas. Ookla Speed Test Intelligence 2H24.
The home of the Mariners.
One hopper snared at short. On a quick hop by J.P. Crawford. That guy's a magician over there at shortstop.
Seattle Sports.
Download the Seattle Sports app.
Contractors and heavy equipment operators, get ready. The James D. Murphy Auction Company presents one of the biggest heavy equipment auctions of the summer. On the auction block, we've got 13 excavators, including a 2018 Komatsu PC 238 USLC-11, a 2015 Komatsu PC 138, and a CAT 308 mini excavator. Also up for auction, a 2020 Komatsu WA 270-8 wheel loader, a 2017 John Deere 317G skid steer, 2 backhoes, and 3 rollers. Looking for trucks? Choose from over 100 options, including a 2017 Kenworth T880 with a wet kit and 4 Vector trucks. And if you're in need of contractor's equipment, we've got a massive assortment for you to choose from. Bidding starts 10 a.m. Thursday the 7th and starts closing at 10 a.m. August 14th. And don't miss your chance to preview all items August 12th through the 13th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at our Marysville location. For more information, visit murphyauction.com. That's murphyauction.com.
Did you know in Washington State, you can see a physical therapist without a referral from your doctor? That's right. Thanks to Direct Access, you can skip the wait and get the care you need right away. Shannon O'Kelly, how has Direct Access changed the game?
Direct Access for us, Brock, is a game changer. Why? Is because there is so much research and data out there that says if you get in early when you have a musculoskeletal problem or an injury, the earlier you get in and we can start care, the better outcomes and the decreased downstream cost, okay? So it's so important. Our providers are all doctors of physical therapy. They're all trained to identify situations and problems. They've got the skill, they've got the talent, they've got the knowledge. If you get in and start therapy early, we're going to get you back to activity, pain-free, and moving and having fun.
Fast, easy, effective. Direct Access is your path to better movement, starting with a single step. Visit irgpt.com to schedule your appointment today. irgpt.com.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Coming up in 15 minutes, it's What I Need to Know. Get your questions in to the text line 866-979-3776. Any question, send it now. To begin this hour at 1, we asked ourselves, Bump, and listeners, who's going to be under the biggest microscope this preseason? There was a listener response that I didn't read because I thought it would make a pretty good 1:30 here, and I wanted to throw it your way and have a conversation instead about depth. So going from just kind of who's under the most pressure to, hey, where do we have some depth concerns or depth questions? Maybe where do we feel pretty good about the depth that this team has also? One listener in particular texted in about Tyrese Knight, and they said, look, I loved what we saw from him in a breakout season last year. He ended up really meeting the moment after this team traded its 2 starting linebackers. Ernest Jones was really the big name there. He really helped this defense come together, especially shore up against the run, but Tyrese Knight was a big part of that. Yes, there's a world where Tyrese Knight not only plays a full season, but has a great 2025, but they were really concerned about the depth behind him, and frankly, so am I.
Yeah, thing about Tyrese Knight, too, is that they don't get rid of the 2 quarterbacks, Dotson and Baker, if he's not showing you something during the week at practice. If he's not executing, if he's not hearing the adjustments and sniffing out the run the way that I saw on film. The thing about Tyrese Knight is he's not like a twitchy kind of guy. He's a flow type of guy. Mm-hmm. He diagnoses the run game and gets exactly where he needs to be. So kudos to him for giving this coaching staff enough confidence to say, you know what, we'll get Ernest, get rid of these guys. Tyrese Knight, you're the guy. But after that, it gets a little shaky. You got Drake Thomas. And listen, I say shaky in the sense that I don't know if these guys could be everyday starters in the league, but they're in the league and on a roster for a reason. They're good ball players, but there's just a level from the ones to the twos. You got Drake Thomas, you have Josh Ross, you have Patrick O'Connell, and I think I'm saying his name, Derek Jackson, back there as well. The linebacker spot is a little tricky. Who were I talking to the other day? I was talking to somebody, and I asked them if I thought that they would bring in a veteran type of linebacker to kind of help with depth. And they were like, probably not, because
I feel like you asked maybe Brady.
Was it Brady? Yeah. And he said probably not, because the guys who are the second linebacker, second and thirds, are the guys who are going to be on every single special team. And you don't bring in a veteran to play special teams. Those guys have passed that in their career. They're more focused on alignment, assignment, execution, and all that good stuff. So I would assume that most rosters are kind of mimic what the Seahawks have, to where you got your for sure dudes, and then after that, it's kind of filling the gaps. I mean, there was a time when Cody Barton got the start a few years ago.
Yeah.
And we felt here he wasn't necessarily a number one type of guy. All right, this is our trash, our treasure. He goes to the Broncos. I think he went to the Commanders first, and then went to the Broncos, and now he's a starter over there based on the level of talent that they have over there. But I look at the linebacker spot, and if there's any position to where I have the most questions if a guy were to not be available, it has to be the LB spot. These guys are a bit different. They're not made the way that they used to be made back in the day at the Dave Wymans. Nah, this guy, Drake Thomas, 5'11", 225 pounds, got to be able to move a little bit. It's just because we haven't seen them play. We haven't seen a lot of snaps. There's nothing against them. It's just the more snaps you get, the more intel I have on you, the more belief that I have, and I think the coaches feel the same way. As far as the starters, I think we're good. But if something were to happen to where someone isn't available, I would look at that linebacker spot and have some questions.
Just to hit pause here before we get to some other position groups where we have depth concerns, and one position group in particular where depth is actually really in Seattle's favor and makes for an interesting conversation. On the subject of Cody Barton, I'll never get over that in his Utah roster photo, he looks like he's wearing a suit that's 20 times too big, and Dave Wyman asked him about it, and he said that there was basically, do you remember this conversation?
I do.
That there was basically like a fake suit, like a shirt, tie, suit jacket that is, I don't know if it's like sewn on to a blanket or whatever, but they like throw it on. So it's like him and a bunch of other dudes are basically putting on like this thing that hangs on to the front of them for this photo, but he's not wearing an actual suit. And I thought that was the funniest thing. If you haven't seen the photo, it's this 2018 football roster photo for Utah. Just search Cody Barton, Utah, and it looks like this suit for a linebacker is 10 sizes too big, and it's fake. It's a fake suit. Okay. Another position group, and the reason that I always like the Micah Parsons conversation, yes, eventually it'll end. Yes, frankly, I expect him to kind of stay with Dallas. But I know that a lot of people push back with, he's so expensive, we don't need him. Yes, he is very expensive. But I actually think the Seahawks do have some depth questions when it comes to some of their pass rushers, their outside backers. I love the development that Derek Hall has made. He seems so confident heading into this year. I loved what we saw last year from Boye Mafe, but that is by no means a stacked group. You have a lot of young, exciting players, but I think that the reason that a lot of Seahawks analysts were wondering, like, are they going to trade for Parsons, is not because they necessarily thought Seattle would, but because they thought Seattle might still add to that group.
And I think mainly because of the health of Uchenna Nwosu. And, you know, I've spoken to people over there. They think that he's going to be fine. But when you're not suited up once for training camp, at least up to this point, there has to be some type of concerns. We're talking about Boye Mafe, Derek Hall, DeMarcus Lawrence, Tariq Smith, Jamie Sheriff, and Jared Ivey and Jalen Gaines. Some of those names you guys don't recognize. After DeMarcus Lawrence, Boye Mafe, Derek Hall, and Nwosu, there's going to be a big drop-off. Tyreek Smith, we haven't played in many games. He's been banged up a lot. Jamie Sheriff was on this squad for a couple of weeks and then was cut and bounced around a little bit. I think because same thing with linebackers, because you haven't seen them, you just don't know what you have over there. And because you've grown to trust Boye Mafe and trust Derek Hall, you know what you're going to get out of them. 6 to 9 sacks up to this point in their career. And they're getting more and more comfortable because they're growing in this Mike McDonald defense and just in general as a football player. We don't know what we're going to get out of DeMarcus Lawrence. 4 games last year he played, 5 games he played last year.
4, I think.
And when I break down the film, he looked great. but he is an older statesman, and you're going to have some questions there. 34 years of age, I think he can still play, but you got questions. So you combine the absence of Uchenna Nwosu, the age of DeMarcus Lawrence. I hate to throw ageism out there, but 34 years old, I think he can still play. And then the unknowns behind them. Yeah, this is a position to where you're kind of suspect. You're looking to see what happens. Like, you can look at the cornerback spot and you feel a lot better about what they have over there. You got Reek, you got Nehemiah, who's been here before, just a familiar name that you have over there. Who's on the other side? Where are my eyes? You got Josh Jobe, you got Griffin. And you have Shamar, who I'm not really too familiar with. You got at least 4 guys over there that you've seen play that you think you can trust, or you know what you're going to get out of them. With the outside backer rush in spot, it's just it feels a bit shaky because of depth. If Uchenna was healthy, I think we think differently about this, and we're not as concerned.
Well, and again, we're being mostly a little nitpicky just because the defense overall is roughly the same group with very few exceptions, Marcus Lawrence obviously being one of them. And they also should and do have really high expectations. So I think we're just trying to look at it with a comb through with a fine-tooth comb going, okay, well, where do we have some questions and where do we have some concerns? Conversely, on offense, we have a lot of questions heading into this season, but there is one position group where I really like the depth, and it's at running back, because while Ken Walker has sky-high expectations, as he should, Zach Charbonnet has really impressed in camp. And I was I noted, as did you, that Clint Kubiak's comments with us really mentioned Charbonnet a lot, too. I don't know that they're looking at a 1-2 punch at running back, but I think they see a lot of value with Zach.
Yeah, I mean, if you've been out there, if any of you guys have been out there on the berm and just watched the way Zach has been operating, and you combine that with what the coaches have been saying about him, I'm really excited about this dude. I'm almost more excited about him than Ken Walker, just because I'm worried about his health. It's just hard for Ken Walker to stay healthy. And maybe they're just nagging injuries that he has that they're just being super cautious with because they want him to be available during the regular season. But if there is a player that's already on this roster that I feel like can make a big jump this year, it has to be Zach Charbonnet.
All right. Get your questions in for What I Need to Know. 866-979-3776. Coming your way next.
He's the best catcher in baseball.
Pitch to Cal, swing and a drive.
And he's on Seattle Sports. Thursday afternoons all season long. It's the Honey Bucket Cal Raleigh Show.
Presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians.
More history for Cal Raleigh.
I love being here and all these fans in the city.
Catch every episode of the Honey Bucket Cal Raleigh Show, presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians, on the Seattle Sports YouTube page, the Seattle Sports app, and seattlesports.com.
Hey friends, Stacy here to tell you that Wayscar Ford Isuzu in Auburn is celebrating its 103rd year anniversary, and their biggest sales event of the year is going on right now. Take advantage of great pricing on new Fords, Isuzus, and commercial vehicles, plus huge discounts in the service and parts departments. What about those of you looking to sell your car? I also have good news. Wayscar Ford's vehicle profit sharing plan is the best deal out there. They purchase your car and pay you up front. Then when they resell your old car, they share 50% of their profit with you. They've already paid back over $800,000 to customers. At Wayscar Ford, there are absolutely no games, no gimmicks, and no pressure. And that's backed up by a full 5-day or 500-mile no questions asked return policy on absolutely every vehicle they sell. Change your mind for any reason. Bring the vehicle back for a full 100% refund. If you're like me, you want a good price, a low-key, no-pressure sales experience, and a full 5-day 100% satisfaction guarantee. So go to Wayscar Ford in Auburn. Check them out for yourself at wayscarford.com.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over at PCF Construction. If you're seeking a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, maybe a new deck, patio cover, railings, well, my friends at PCF have you covered. This summer, well, you can enjoy 12 months of no interest and no payments. And how about this? Plus 50% off a design and architectural drawing package, or up to $5,000 off an undercover system. If you're looking at your outside and saying, golly, what a beautiful summer in the Pacific Northwest, and we can't take advantage of it, well, take advantage of these offers today. If you've been wanting that new deck, that new patio cover, make the call. Get online right now and connect with my friends at PCF. You can find all the offer details. You can get project ideas, and you can browse photos at PCFgroup.com or call today at 425-629-8476. Don't let this offer pass you by. It's 425 629-8476.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Windows are a home's top target for break-ins. At Lake Washington Windows and Doors, we offer added security with our exclusive 3-layer security glass protection. Combined with our lifetime warranty, you'll have lifetime peace of mind. Choose Lake Washington Windows and Doors, a name you can trust.
Beat rising costs at Lake Washington Windows and Doors. For a limited time, get a 20% inflation discount and enjoy easy 18-month free financing with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest. Details at lakewashingtonwindows.com.
The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, 2-run home run!
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
It is that time of year. I cannot wait for the weather to get warm like it is now on consecutive days. That means I can break the motorcycle out, ride to work, ride all over the place, and I love it more than just about anything. But I also know that it's not a matter of if, but when you get in an accident, what are you going to do? Well, I'll tell you, when you're injured in a motorcycle crash, don't settle for firms that say they're motorcycle lawyers. Trust the ones who live it. Law Tigers has been a part of the writing community for nearly 25 years nationwide. They are here 24/7. 365 days a year because writers deserve real support when they need it. Law Tigers is the resource writers can turn to when they are in need. Law Tigers is out at all the events and supporting all clubs and shops. The Law Tigers are always by your side. Your case evaluation is always free. There are no fees until your case settles. The Law Tigers, you never ride alone. Law Tigers, Washington's motorcycle lawyers. Jimmy Cook, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
Matt Coker here from West Coast Men's Health. Guys, Viagra is not the answer for your problem. I know you think it is, but Viagra has horrible side effects, and for most men, the longer you're on it, the less it works. Viagra is not a curative medication. It's not fixing your problem. It's a Band-Aid for a shark bite. Acoustic wave therapy is the newest technology that can correct your problem, not just treat it. We can do something that no pill can do. We can restore your blood flow naturally. Get off Viagra today. Change your life like the thousands of men who already have, regardless of your age or your medical history. If you're tired of dealing with Peyronie's disease or erectile dysfunction, then call West Coast Men's Health today.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Get your questions in for What I Need to Know, 866-979-3776. It doesn't have to be sports, hence our first question. What I need to know, says one listener. If you're in a chat, what's the most annoying person? You have choices. The person who can't stop talking, the person who doesn't share anything, or the one who never makes any sense when they talk. Now, they said a discussion group, but I'm going to include, like, group chats.
Well, discussion, the person who just keeps talking. Like,
yeah.
All right, we could have been out here 15 minutes ago. In the group chat, I hate the person that has, this wasn't even on that list, that knows exactly what to say to poke out a certain person and just does it constantly. And the person threatens to leave the group and they go back and forth. And I got to turn off my notifications because you guys are getting after it. It's like, where everyone has a job here. Like, what are we doing? So just be adults in the group chat, please.
Okay, so the most annoying is the person who just never shuts up because it's annoying. Like, I'm not going to care about 90% about what you're saying. Another person I dislike in a chat is, we were talking about this during the break, someone who doesn't get any joke or who's days late with news.
Yeah.
So like you'll be having, or like if you have missed a huge chunk of the group chat, just scroll through and read.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do your research.
Do your research. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Come correct. Instead, people are always like, wait, what? I don't get it. And you're like, then don't worry about it. Scroll up. I don't have time. What I need to know. What can we infer from how much and when different players play on Thursday? For example, if Jake Bobo plays one set of downs and no special teams, do we think maybe he isn't as on the bubble as we think compared to if he plays the entire game, including special teams?
Nah, because I played that and I was on the bubble. You know what I'm saying? I think by the second game, we'll have more information. I think that bubble has done enough to where they could be like, listen, we're going to give the young guys a bit more opportunity this game because we want to see what they can do. We have 2 years of your film, and then we'll get you more reps in the second game.
What I need to know, when you eventually reach the age that Wyman and Bob are now, do you think there will be spaceships, a colony on Mars, and transporters? They said starships, a starship.
So what, they're in their mid-50s, maybe?
How old are Bob and Wyman?
I think mid to late 50s.
So about 15, 20 years from now.
They look great for their age.
Yeah, 15, 20 years from now, we will have discovered that aliens do exist, and we'll be in direct communication with them.
I swear, didn't we already learn that aliens exist and we kind of glossed over it because there was so much else going on? Or am I?
I've always thought they existed.
Misremembering?
I mean, I'm talking about like they're
confirmation.
They're popping up on the
like,
news,
here
giving
they
us
are.
information like, "Hey, man, look, there's a war going on 2 galaxies away."
Yeah,
you know, like that type of contact.
Wasn't it Tom DeLonge of Blink-182 who had like some classified information he got from the government about UFOs?
Blink-182?
Yeah, I'm not even joking about this. I don't know. I think he's like big into that stuff, and I think Baker Mayfield was talking about it too. Like, yeah.
I think what's going to happen is we're going to find out aliens are real, and it's just there's so many other things that we're worried about and talking about that it's not going to be the monumental thing we thought it would be when we were watching like Independence Day, and we thought that it would be like all.
Apparently, there's a 12-mile long mothership headed this way. We'll see it in November 2025. Just saying.
That's what you're hearing.
That's what I'm hearing.
That's the word.
The streets is telling me.
You know what's also possible? What if it's possible that just think of how infinite time is. What if it's possible that the entire existence of humans has existed in a fraction of time when there aren't aliens, or when aliens aren't passing by us?
What if?
Okay. What I need to know. What's the worst advice someone's ever given you?
Worst advice? Just go talk to her. Just go talk to her. What
That's good advice.
So they told you
No.
that girl at the bar was in Boise?
That was all instinct right there. That was all instinct.
That was just vibes.
Let's go talk to her, knowing dang well she's out my league. Yeah, that was bad.
I don't think that's bad advice,
It's horrible
though.
advice. When
You're
you
never
are
going to meet
in
anyone
ninth
if you don't go
grade
talk to
and
them.
she's a 12th grader, and she's the captain of the cheerleading squad, and your boys is gassing you up because you played in a couple of varsity games, knowing dang well she's got a college boyfriend who drives a BMW. She ain't rocking with you.
I think maybe bad advice would be like, oh, they're making fun of you because they like you. Sometimes they hate you. You know? Sometimes that's not good advice.
Hey, look at these sex lines. They've heard the same story I'm talking about. The mothership,
What?
November.
No.
I'm telling you. That's what I heard. Streaks, man.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. I haven't heard of this ship. Someone said aliens don't exist. I think aliens do exist. And I know that I might get flack for that because I said that Bigfoot doesn't exist. But I have a significantly easier time believing that aliens exist.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Space is so much bigger than Pacific Northwest forests.
Hey, Ohtani just went yard. How many is that for him?
1 million. What I need to know. Oh, Curtis, did you have one for worst advice ever given to you?
Bumps kind of hit the nail on the head there. Oh, yeah, just go talk to her. What's the worst you can have?
This person said, do you remember who your first real crush was? Was it a person you knew or perhaps a celebrity?
Oh, this person I knew. Elementary school. Crystal.
Oh, yeah?
Crystal.
That's a very 90s name.
Did you ever approach her? Did you ever share your feelings?
You know, we were cool. You know what's crazy is that I had a crush on her in elementary school, And then I met her years later in high school. We became tight. And then I was talking to her, but then I was leaving for college. It was kind of like, I'm out of here.
My very first crush was in like 4th or 5th grade on this boy who did not like me at all. I was a very ugly child, but also...
That means he likes you.
I think he might be in jail now.
Oh, snap.
So,
You've always had a thing for the bad boys, Stacy.
Oh, man.
You've always had a thing for the bad boys.
I think that no, I haven't, but I think that's where, I'm not sure. I had heard
Even
like a
back
rumor
then,
like
I can fix it.
years ago. Let's see what I need to know. Let's see. Someone said maybe a question for Matt. Where'd it go? What I need to know for Matt, maybe. Why is Wyman reliving his high school glory days in the teaser I've been hearing?
Oh, yeah. He had 2 interceptions in a high school game, I think state championship. Because those are awesome. Relive it, Wyman.
What I need to know. Let's see. Why do you buy white tees at a convenience store?
Matt and I
why.
had that same question back
Here's
here.
why.
You were talking about that.
Because I wear very specific white tees, and they're called Pro Clubs, and I can't find them anywhere else. And I walked into that convenience store, and they had the Pro Clubs, and it blew my mind that these people had the white tees that I love in that store.
Someone said, do you not find it creepy she is stalking her grade school crush? First of all, this was a rumor I heard when I was in high school about someone that I was in elementary school with. This was a juvenile delinquent. This is not someone who, like, now at my big age, I've gone to find out where he is.
Dang.
I just remember in high school there were rumors of like, oh, that guy he got into a bunch of trouble, and I was like, he was so handsome.
Gangster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was just cool. He was too cool for all of us. Let's see. It's, I wish I had more questions for you guys, but the rest of the text line is 90% telling me aliens do or don't exist, and someone else doing a Photoshop of wine for bump saying Carbonet. Napa Valley. Napa Valley Carbonet.
Carbonet is very exclusive wine. I'll get you some when I visit.
Everyone
Napa Valley.
loves just a rich, full-bodied Carbonet from your local convenience store.
It
for
smells
$20.
like the ammonia that we're talking about.
Smell like salt? Oh, God. Wyman and Bob coming up next.
Wyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
I was always a guy that, like, if I could get an interception, man.
How many did you have in your career?
3.
How many should you have had? If you, as you put it, if you didn't have frying pan hands.
Yeah, I would say probably double that. When I was in high school, I played in a state championship game. I had 2 interceptions in one game, and I was like, that was my favorite game. I just loved that.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
I have a handful of stories that really affected me personally in my career and how I handled employees. Lee Johnson, coming out of his office as a customer, asked me where the service department is. I was like, yeah, go to the end of the hall, go up the stairs, go across the breezeway, open a door, go to the left, you want Chevy, go to the right, you want Mazda, because I didn't even have enough time to say, hey, what kind of car do you have? Here comes Lee, and it's like, oh, ma'am, come with me, let me show you. And then have him come back and not dress me down. It's just almost like with that fatherly disappointment of like, hey, that's not how we take care of people. I mean, the right way is to walk her down to the stairs, walk her up the stairs, open the door for her, go over, cross the way, open up that door, introduce her to somebody. So she's comfortable, she's made it to the right place, and that we value the business. What you did was you made it seem like she was an inconvenience to you. Customers are the purpose of our day.
The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
You're free now. Free to stream beyond your wildest dreams.
Rom-coms, slasher-coms, space operas.
Free to fill your feed with impossibly chonky chonkers.
Cats, corgis, babies on demand.
Free to make your smart devices do silly things.
Bowl of chips on the Robo-Vacuum.
Free to open a world of remote work and Gametopia.
Who's the boss now?
Free to be everything you imagine. That's how it feels to have Quantum Fiber Internet. Your world unleashed. Learn more at quantumfiber.com.
Limited availability, service in select locations only.
Now is the time. We talk about it year-round, but roofing season really is upon us. It's Mike Salk here. So what makes it roofing season? Long, dry days where roofing crews can work realistically sun up to sundown. They're cranking out projects all over our region, and Riverside Roofing is, of course, leading the charge. Local to Marysville, Riverside Roofing serves the entirety of Western Washington. They do amazing work. They've earned my recommendation, plus industry awards like GAF Master Elite's President's Club, a status fewer than 1% of roofing companies in the entire country actually achieve. Get a roofing quote in less than 60 seconds using Quick Quote directly on riversideroofingllc.com. It'll pop up as soon as you go on their website. During and after your roofing job, you can expect a yard and driveway totally clean of debris. Behind their national accolades is a family company from right here in Marysville, built upon important local values like trust. That's why Riverside Roofing is the local roofing company you can trust. Go to riversideroofingllc.com.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s. And less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
Rare and luxurious 100 years of exceptional automobiles is currently on display at LeMay, America's Car Museum. Feel the thrill of racing simulators. It's excitement for all, and out-of-town visitors will love it. Visit americascarmuseum.org.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s. And less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty